Yeah, well,
And it's got a,
that just goes down to your main frame, right?
right, this is on the drive.
Yeah.
Do you mind if
And then I can
eat
put it on
a
the
little bit
car.
of this?
Put it on the tripod and
Yeah.
it should be good.
Hey, that's a wardrobe piece down there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Put it on the
On the
tripod.
floor?
Yeah. Right there.
This the other one I got.
See the thing?
This NX70.
The faces.
Yeah.
Which one has a better lens on it?
Man, I think this one is better.
This one?
The way that it,
I got about,
Okay.
I got a 4K one, but you know you gotta have light.
Oh yeah.
That use
You done a
Tapes,
good job supporting him.
it don't.
No,
Yeah.
this has the same
His stuff is one of a kind.
internal hard
Have
drive,
you traveled to
96
get
gigabyte
the,
internal
African
hard
too?
drive. This
oh
one too,
no, I mean,
and it's got
wait, have I been
a
out?
floating
Out of
lens,
the country.
so that you don't have the
We went to,
Okay. Well, let's
Stabilize
use that
it.
one then.
with,
yeah.
Let's use that one then.
So
Whichever
You know,
one you like to use.
no, not
Right.
Mark.
so right now I
What do you
just
want
want
me
to
to
get
do?
I said, I missed that. Going with
take a
Mark.
look around
But we went with
and see how you want to light it up.
Samuel King.
Let me use the back.
You know
Okay.
him, you know?
Say the name again.
Samuel King.
So you got to
Which way is it back?
Nelson.
Mark is back.
Can I get to your men's room?
Huh?
Can I get to your men's room?
Yes.
That look like some of my boys' pieces there.
Who is that? Woodrow.
Yeah, Woodrow.
Yeah.
That's what we did when we first came in. All this is Woodrow stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he just left here.
He was staying here.
He
Woody's
just
out of
left here.
Ohio.
Yeah, he just
Yeah,
left.
he was staying
He
here.
was staying here.
Yeah, man.
Festival of the
Who was
Arts.
the other guy? Frank Frazier.
Frank.
Straight back to the back. Oh,
Yeah. I can talk about the guy,
yeah.
So this is just his living room, man. His whole house is like this. The bathrooms, bedrooms, kitchen. He got every cereal box, all of the stamps. He collect everything, man. Coins, memorabilia, paintings, and he usually had an artist. They come and they end up, you know, staying here instead of going to hotels and stuff.
That's sweet.
So, and just his whole thing. I mean, he has when they talked about the colored high schools and all that. He's got all the different stuff, man.
Historical stuff.
Yeah. He was telling us how he came across one of the Tuskegee Airmen's books they have they when they graduate, and he was helping a lady. In fact, that's how he got some of these here pieces, like this furniture piece. He was helping a lady, and she gave it to him. Gave him that book, and he was having a dinner here. And one of the guys, Tuskegee Airmen, came here. He was eating dinner, and he looked at the book. He said, "Man, where you get this book?" He said, "Man, such lady gave it." He said, "This is my book. This is my book." So he got it. He was and Nelson, well, you can have it. He said, "No, man. If you got it, you were meant to have this book." So he,
This is my book.
yeah. I mean, it was.
Wow.
It was actually his book. You know,
Wow.
where he had signed in it. You know, so that I'm like,
That's
man,
deep.
that was meant
That's deep.
for him. And he found some real nice paintings of artists and stuff, jewelry, a lot of stuff going to like the flea market.
Yeah.
Like some people go to church. That's where you find him on Sundays. You go.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Alex, how you
Hello,
doing?
hello. How you doing, Murphy?
All right.
Hi, Maurice.
Alice?
Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Alice?
Hi,
Like
how
a
are
lady.
you? Nice to meet you. Back in the room, y'all take care.
No. So, but now he spends a lot of time with Phil Coran.
You know Phil?
Yeah.
The icon?
Yeah.
He's 87 now. He's still going strong. He just did a two-pack shows in Sao Paulo in, what was it? I guess that was July. Because his sons, I don't know if you're familiar with his boys, it's a 9-member band and 8 of them are his boys.
Oh, okay.
They've been around the world about 3 or 4 times, and they performed last year twice in Brazil, and the Brazilians made a strange request. They said, now we want to hear the father. So they invited him down,
Yeah.
and he turned it out in Sao Paulo this summer. 2 shows. He said they bought up everything there, all his music that wasn't nailed down. So I'm sure they'll be inviting him back. You know, that was a trip that he always wanted to make. It's just he didn't get a chance to make it in his younger days because of his political stance.
Oh.
You know, he's always been kind of
Yeah.
closing out.
Yeah.
He's a teacher of mine. So might get Murphy together, get Phil to agree to do a documentary on him. But he had one done on PBS back in May. The Brothers Hypnotic, an independent lens. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the kind of thing that we want to do. So Calvin has been with like
TV.
Can TV. So, but he's been doing it so long, and he does his own stuff, photography stuff. So, you know, he kind of would know how we need to maybe flow it, light it. But I wanted him to get us a breath of kind of the depth of it, you know, to kind of get a sense.
Yeah.
Brunson, right, this is spiritual.
Yeah.
Did you have did you have any kind of script at all?
That was that's the piece that we're gonna do.
What do we want?
When I was talking about us trying to come back like on a Thursday,
Yeah.
I'll let Brunson know,
Okay.
and he's gonna come in Thursday specifically for that, and we'll sit down with our notebooks and just kind of, you know, work on the flow. But cause and this is how my mind has been working since we've been talking about it. Cause it was just so refreshing to hear even how you and Alice, as a kid, when he was younger,
Right.
how he started,
Turn that down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
how he
Don't
started.
mind.
Hey, you don't know.
If y'all don't mind. Cause I'm trying to hear you.
Okay, as he really started pulling stuff together, and you know, just the kind of way that he even grew up. So it's all kind of tied in, and just the little stuff that I had picked up just from coming, and it took a while to really get to. Cause he would get just a little, I would just get little bits and pieces, and he had pieces that he had, and he talked about the first ones he collected, and I remember he would always point to that picture. You go to that picture and talk about how you would tell the kids about they would complain about certain
Get your
stuff.
plate. You get a plate. You can go in the plate or
Oh,
something.
that's right.
That one right there with the kids.
Yeah.
So we're like, we want to eat up a couple of these pieces in here. We're going to give them a plate.
They look memorable. They look edible.
So
I
the
wonder if
but
he knows, because he's collecting paintings too. Does he know, you ever heard of Nioti?
I haven't.
He's another outstanding artist. Chicago got so many artists.
Yeah.
What?
But check this.
This piece here?
No.
This piece? Oh, this piece. Oh, yeah.
See, now you see some of his stone that he has.
They're like ceramic on there. This?
Is that the Shona stone piece?
It's
That's the Kissy stone, is it? Which one? No, that's the white one is the Kissy stone. But he's got it's green, right? Some of the Shona stone.
serpentine.
Serpentine, that's it.
I hung it by the door. Every day I walk out of this house, I want you to look at this door. Look at this.
But check
piece
this,
and
Dwight.
remember what's happening.
Let the music take it.
Oh yeah.
They are going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Who shoes on? Who this and that. You know,
And they on their way.
and they on their way. And you know, about 2 weeks ago, my daughter asked me, what happened to that picture that was by the door that all the time? I said, it's still out there. She said, no, it's not there. It's not out there.
What he talking about?
She said, every time I come here,
Some of that picture.
you know, and she said, every time somebody come here, that's the first thing you start with telling them about that picture, about that, and me and my brother.
So this could serve as
To let them see it.
determination for education
Right.
to walk to school with no shoes on.
Well, it really was, don't complain.
And if
That's
they
what I
can
said.
do that, if they can go that length for education,
Right.
then what's
Right.
our problem?
Exactly.
What's our problem?
But see, all they was complaining about, I want some so-and-so, I want some so-and-so, so-and-so. Mama just bought you new shoes, do this and do that and do that. So what y'all hollering about? You know?
Yeah,
And
that's-
so this
that's
picture
good.
have been here. And like I said, my daughter, about 2 weeks ago, she asked me for the picture. And I had forgotten about the picture. And I said, it's out there. And then when I was in here doing something one day and I came back and looked up, I said, the picture is not out there. I said, where's the picture? I forgot I was doing some cleaning up and I put it over behind something. And it wasn't there. So, but
Okay.
this is one of the pictures. Now this is one here. This is what's his name? He's out of Texas. He was out of Texas. John Biggers.
John Biggers.
This is his wife, Hazel, as a child. I was able to get this to a friend of mine that worked for him. And I could kick myself in the butt. I should have had about 30, 40 John Biggers pieces. Because the partner, he called me and he was telling me, he said, why don't you come on down? And I told Biggers about you and he want to meet you, you know, and blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, I said, hey, I don't mind if you buying on John Biggers. He said, man, he'll give them to you. He got stuff in the garage laying on the floor. He'll just tell you to go in there and pick out what you want. And I said, well, okay, I get out so later. So when I decided me and the wife would go down, he died. I said, God damn.
That's what happens.
You know, he died.
That's what happens.
And then the stuff ended up, because she wasn't deep into it like he was, you know. But what happened was she ended up letting people come and just take stuff, you know. Got away.
That's what happened to a lot of our artists.
Right.
That's exactly what happens.
You familiar with Nioti,
Yeah.
painter? You got any Nioti's paintings?
So
You talk about,
He used to make. He was the first
Man, I
one to
should've
making
brought
those
my
earrings, those pulse-like earrings
you
back in the
talking about
'60s.
being
I should have brought my camera.
Yeah, he's at Dixon all the time.
all the
also.
time, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, he told me the last time I was there. That was last year.
What do you consider some of, out of all these works, what's more near and dear to you as this picture with the children? Do you have some more that
You better get that brother
consider-
straight before he starts chewing off on your pieces, man.
that you consider near and dear to you?
Oh, check this out.
Because it's, you know, he has so much, and, you know, we really need we let him flow.
Yeah.
And we really, it can be done at any time, though, we just have to.
And he got this piece from
Sit him down.
Chappelle. You know, at Bobby Wright.
The earring.
Yeah, cause she was married. Her husband was a Tuskegee Airman. The one that run Bobby Wright.
Bobby Wright singer. That's where he used to work. Right.
We worked at Lawndale.
Okay.
But you know, we did a lot of fundraisers and different stuff with her. But all of the stuff that he's got is
Magnificent.
Brother has some mental health background there.
yeah. We worked together for a year.
People want to break.
Kings of Africa. Yeah.
Kings of Africa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have him down. I'm gonna have to have you down to my show to your mental health. Well, that's the most important thing going.
picture here.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What
This
that was
picture?
all about?
Oh, this,
What was that all
that,
about?
I was when we was at work. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Parents irate over school.
Yeah. So we was this is a piece here. What is this piece here? I'll do with that piece. But let's see it when the wife come out, we can show you that. This is another piece that's
Yeah, I see. Put that piece back up.
right.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Were the parents irate over,
Yeah, over Texas,
what you
yeah.
had done?
No.
And
This was
just-
It was a
totally
situation.
different
This is
story.
something totally
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, this is what they was had sending all the money out to all these white schools and wasn't doing nothing but black schools and talking about closing down our centers and stuff. And so,
March 1st, 1993.
yeah. So,
Doolittle School.
yeah.
Did Sam Cook go to Doolittle?
Sam? I think so. That's something Sam about Sam and his wife.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share that with us as well.
That's this one there. That's
Little
right.
tidbit.
I think it's right.
Little tidbit. Sam's one of my
No, it's
favorites.
Sam by Sam's by the mother. His mother and his
Oh, Sammy Davis.
yeah. This one here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's behind you.
You got this. Put this right there.
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. One of my heroes.
Yeah.
Got a chance to see him perform,
Oh yeah.
at least.
Well, it's a lot.
You ever work with Sutherland and them play?
No, I didn't make those, but he came, he was at the Mill Run Theater. I had a chance to see him at the Mill Run, which was up in Niles.
Yeah. I
Back
was.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
I got a chance to see him there. Don't let this hair fool you, Hank. I don't go back that far to the Sutherland. I read about it.
Yeah. So I remember one night we went to the Southern, me and the wife and two of my partners. And we was in there sitting messing around. And all of a sudden, they said they had them waiting out. I was kind of waiting outside. The Southern had a little place you come into the Southern, then you could walk down, then you could walk back down into a drugstore they had downstairs outside. And so I saw they weren't letting us come in. So I saw what's his name?
Red Fox?
Not Red Fox. He was
Lou
here.
Rawls?
Huh?
Lou Rawls?
No. I saw Lou Rawls. I saw Miles up at remember the Plug Nickel on the north side?
Right.
Yeah. We went there one what was it? Friday?
Wells Street.
Yeah, right on Wells. Went there Friday.
Cold Trains played there in Mile.
Right. And we went up there and see him.
Today is Coltrane's birthday.
Yeah, his birthday's on the Equinox. Today is the Equinox.
Oh yeah.
12 hours and 7 minutes of daylight today.
Longest day.
Autumnal Equinox. Now everything is going down. We're getting ready to lose the sunlight. It's getting ready to suck. Totally suck. By the time we get to the summer, winter solstice will be 15 hours of night and 9 hours of daylight. That sucks.
They've been talking about that
That totally sucks.
on the news a few minutes ago. How
See,
we
that's why I'm
doing
moving to back to the equator, man. Equal day and equal night. 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. Now, how can you be out of balance when you're in that environment?
Yeah.
You know?
Did you want to comment on this picture?
Oh, this
This is Bill Bojangles Robinson.
Bill Robinson. My wife, aunt, knew him because back in that time days when he was performing, they didn't have hotels for blacks and traveling around the country. People would put them up,
Right.
and so she would put up Bill Robinson, and so she my wife went down there after she passed to help other family members get rid of their property. But my wife worked for housing for Chicago. Anyway, when she saw it, she looked at it out. She said, "You like that?" And Alice said, "Yes, I like that." My wife, and so she said, "Well, you can have it." And she said, well, no, I don't want to take it. She said, no, you can have it because I haven't got to your house yet, but they tell me y'all got all this art and all this history stuff in your house, throughout your house. So take it. And I had went to the flea market and found this frame. And when I just bought the frame home, I think I paid about $2 for it.
Was Bill Bojangles Robinson? Was he from Chicago? Where was he from?
No, I don't know exactly where Bill was from.
There's just so much history.
Right.
You know, you have so much history here.
But see, when we were collecting, we wasn't really writing a lot of stuff down. You know, we were just.
How did that come about? Just
What?
collecting.
Collecting.
When did you realize that you were collecting?
I did.
It was just a love for the art.
It was just
Just a
doing
love for the
what
art.
we like. We know what we like, and then after we did it, we got more and more into it. And I read a book of what Bill Cosby was saying talked about in one of his books. I got it in now somewhere. I just can't dig it up. He was saying, what we do is, as black people, we don't hold on to things our grandparents had and other people out had and carried on. He said, white, you have to look around. White people are buying the stuff now at flea markets and stuff and selling it and we out there buying it back. He said, wake up, you know.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you just made.
Exactly.
I noticed that a lot myself.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because the elders did not let the younger people know the value of our culture, or was our culture just lost like we saw in Roots? Was it beat out of us? Was it stolen? Was it hidden? We don't seem to know our culture, so we don't value things of our culture. Do you?
Well, the thing about it is, you got to, you know, sit kids, just like when people get together, you get together like a holiday. You got the kids and the other kids that's around, your nieces, nephews, kids. Put them together, set them in a corner and start telling them about it.
Teach them.
Yeah. Start talking to them about it. So make up a story and tell them about it. They don't know if it's the truth, but you know it's the truth. You know.
Yeah, because even in Roots, they would tell that story and
Right.
pass it down
That's
generation
right.
to generation, but somewhere it was lost. By the time it got, I think after me, I think it kind of got
Right.
lost. But we need to revive that
Exactly.
because everything you have here is nothing but culture,
That's it.
nothing but
You know, and
nothing
all
but
the little
culture.
things you see. Like they made these things like this. They made these things to make fun of us. You know.
Zero in on that one, zoom in on that one, so we can
They
see
made
what
it.
he's talking about. It looks like who, Lil Sambo.
Right. They made it to make fun of us. That's what they made it for.
Okay,
And so, but
okay.
we had to stop laughing and start talking.
So did you actually travel to Africa for most of these pieces,
No.
or tell us about the
I
times
have-
when you did travel
I have
out of the country?
I have a friend that guy I know, say friend, that he travels back and forth
Okay.
and bringing stuff. And then there was a place in the western suburbs that was selling stuff. And so
Well, how about your own travels? You have been.
I've been to Africa. Me and the wife
You
went
want
to
to share a little bit of that with us?
We went to Samuel with Samuel Kenya. He's an artist, real good artist. Now you talking about a brother that got something to talk about. Man,
Okay.
brother sat down one day and me and him started talking. And before it was over, tears was coming out of both our eyes. And I said, damn, you know. I'll show you his pieces before I get through.
Okay. If you
This
want to
piece-
pan, or if you
this
want to
piece
point
here.
out something to us,
That piece is done by Gary. You remember Gary? Yeah.
this piece right
Yeah,
here,
my wife, brother-in-law,
and this piece depicts what?
Kings and Queens of Africa. And a lot of people came when they first started coming in here. Adults was coming and said, well, why did you put all these dates and stuff all over that? That takes away from the picture. I said, I want to take away from the picture. But what I want to show the kids that they had kings and queens in Africa way before we came here. When you look up on something, somebody, that's something, no, that's you. You know. It's
The divine.
but
When we were in our royalty,
yeah.
we were at our best. And actually, the dates and the times,
Exactly.
they are very important
Right.
because they let you know what happened in that particular
Exactly.
time in history
Exactly.
and how
And
long
Show
that
you,
rule
it ain't
was.
been long ago. Look here. This is 18 something. What are we in now? 20 something? That ain't
Yes,
long.
sir.
For a lifetime, that ain't a long time.
My grandmother was born in 1900.
See?
Shaka Zulu,
Shaka
king
Zulu.
of the Zulus.
Right.
1818 to 1828.
So that's not a long span of time. You know. Sure.
And where else have you traveled? You say you went to Ghana?
To Ghana.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. What about those different tribes? Did you run across any? Tell us about the tribes that you may have
In Ghana?
come in contact with in Ghana.
See, I was tied and hooked up with Samuel Kenya, and his family was part of that royalty. See? And shoot, everywhere we went, it was like up and above everything else.
You were royalty.
You know, right. That's right.
I bet that felt pretty good, huh?
Well, not really, because they fed the hell out of us. And they fed us, and we was stuffed. I mean, they had us everywhere we would go, they would come out and feed us, you know.
Yeah.
And then, but I found
Showing
out,
respect.
that traveling with a group like that, as many as it was, it kind of takes away from Africa a little, because you got to, everybody here got to keep keeping up with each other. And where's this? And we
Kind
got
of
to-
takes away from some
Right.
of the
From the-
customs that
Exactly.
you may want to
Exactly.
learn and to know about. Kind of takes away from the customs, how you would learn about the customs. Because I heard that the Ashanti are a very proud people,
Yeah,
and
they are.
I was talking with some Ashanti, and I didn't quite pronounce the name right, and they corrected me right on the spot.
Right.
They taught me how to pronounce the name, and then they proceeded to tell me about some of the culture, and I realized how important it was to them.
We left here about, what time? About 12 o'clock or something. Oh no, earlier than that. Going to O'Hare to catch the plane. Got the plane because we had to stay over in, I think, was it London or somewhere? But and wait on the second group plane because we all didn't get our tickets together. So I had left here, and it was the weather was turning kind of cool. When we got to Africa, it was 2 o'clock that morning, and I came off the plane. I actually told my wife I'm wearing my long underwear. She said, the plane is cold. I do not like cold weather, and I'm wearing my long underwear. I had my long underwear on. I got off that plane in Africa, 2 o'clock in the morning. The heat said, pow! I said, shit! Just like that. That heat was hot.
Oh yeah.
It was smoking.
Oh yeah.
And this young guy downstairs at the bottom was straight down there at the bottom. Come on, welcome home, brother. Welcome home, brothers. Welcome home, sisters and brothers. Welcome home. Come on. I said, I didn't really know he was going to be here. He said, and not only know you're going to be here, I will see you as soon as you come out tomorrow morning out of your hotel.
Yeah, they were showing hospitality.
I know.
They were gonna take you around and
Yeah.
show you off and
Well, see, and they was trying,
teach you some of the culture.
they was trying to sell stuff too, you know. They was making a hustle. And them brothers, they never did stop hustling. And then at the time, I didn't really hit me, you know, like hard enough. They said, shh. And the wife, and you know how the women do, they get together and they see somebody, they go on off and be gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But hey, that was cool. But
Are there some other pieces that you would like to share with us on the importance of what they may be or what they may mean? Because I'm looking at this piece right here.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of clear to see what's happening right here. Looks like they're haven't agreed on whatever the subject is, and they decided to see who's going to win
right,
the argument.
yeah. Yeah. So and then after that, we just off running. We started buying. And a lot of times Sid was with me doing this crazy stuff, you know. Shoot. Then Sid sneak off work.
What's your background?
That's my background. Oh,
Let's start with what the year you were born. That should be
1940,
historic.
42.
1942. Wow, that's a. What else was going on in 1942? Now that you can look back, that we can compare that with.
The Second World War was going on.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah.
Started in what,
That-
41, didn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
41. You were born in 42.
And my uncle, which, do I have a picture of brother and uncle? I have a picture somewhere of brother and my uncle. But I think he got torn up some kind of way.
Where were you born, may I ask?
Mississippi.
Mississippi. So
Yeah.
was I.
Yeah, what part?
Well, they tell me that it was in the lowland that they called the Delta. And I was born in what they call Arcola. And that was near Greenville, the biggest town, where they
Right.
used to go and shop.
Right.
Greenville. And so I was, it was like Washington County, they always tell me.
Well,
Yeah.
I had an aunt. She passed, about 2 or 3 months ago. So me and the wife and daughter, we drove down there to the funeral. And
Yeah, my condolences.
she was at, Leland, you know Leland?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Leland.
where she stayed.
That's where they say I was born. Leland and Arcola was right there together.
She stayed in a little house right off from the school in Leland, you know.
Yeah.
Since then, the daughter moved to California after she left, and I haven't been back. Matter of fact, I got to get in touch with her.
I was actually raised in Chicago. We left there in '55, right after Emmett Till, and so I
Same time I
started.
left.
I started kindergarten right here in Chicago at Tennyson School on the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same,
still got that picture.
same time I left, 1955.
Okay.
Came in on a train,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And a brother showed me this picture. Let me show you.
Yes, sir.
Man, that really smells good too.
Delicious.
Which picture is that?
Wow,
This picture here.
that is amazing.
Yeah.
What is that?
When I went into
This
the,
is tandoori chicken.
Mm-hmm.
This is curry lamb.
Okay.
I went to his gallery
Eggplant.
one night.
Mm-hmm.
He had these
Greens.
this one,
Rice.
that one.
Oh man, I'm seeing
Man,
the
I gotta
dimensions.
remember that.
I just noticed the dimensions on it.
So when I went
Somebody picking cotton.
when I went into the gallery, I said, "Where is the artist?" And he pointed him out. So I walked over by, and he was talking to some people. He said, "Is there something you'd like to ask me?" I said, "Yes, I want to talk to you about something." He said, "Fine." I said, "About that picture over there, do you know anything about it?" So he said, "What do you mean? Do I know anything about it?" "Do you know anything about it?" I said, "Yeah, I think I know more than you about it." So he said, "Whoa." He said, "We got to talk." And we started talking, and I told him, I said,
You didn't tell me you was a sharecropper, did you?
Boy, that is saying a lot. That picture is saying a lot.
You didn't? How old are you?
Yeah, all of our folks ended up being sharecroppers.
70, you better ask my wife, I think I'm 70.
73? 73? You still a young man. 73?
Yeah, we're out there. And I told him, I said, do you realize in 55, I said, because he asked me, when did you come here? I told him 1955. I said, but in 1955, she wouldn't be sitting there. She would be sitting back there at the back of the train.
Is that right?
Because that's where they had to have all that smoke and stuff would come back there. But see, once they found out that the black people sitting up front, because that's where we came, sitting up front, and they found out that, you know, they was not all smoked up when they got off. They put the black people back there. So it was a reason for anything you see done halfway decent.
Yeah, we all know what happened in '55,
Yeah,
Emmett Till.
yeah.
and they also desegregated the buses.
Right. Yeah, I came here with my, one of my oldest cousins, she was older. Got off down at 12th Street.
I was gonna ask you that. Down at yeah, right there behind Two Town. 12th Street Station.
What you call it, you there?
Yeah.
She told me one time, I called it you down. He said, that is embarrassing for you to say that. I said, what do you mean? I said, that's what they call it.
That's what they
But
call
it is,
it.
you down. He said, how would you feel if I call it Digger Town? Had the place you can call your Nigger Town.
Mm.
And I said, well, that's something to think about. You know,
That's what everybody calls it.
I know.
That's where we went to spend our money.
On Saturday morning, Sunday morning too.
But it was also a marketplace also, so it served a lot of purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a picture over here that I've been had, and I really didn't realize. I knew I had it, but I forgot about it. What did I let you see? My wife is like, oh, you pulling all that stuff out.
I like these up here with the brother with the slave ships in the background.
Which one? Oh, that's
Yeah, those two.
that's Gerald Griffith there.
Gerald
That's
Griffin,
him right there. And this is his piece.
that's his work.
That's his piece there. Everything. And to hear this brother speak and talk,
Okay.
oh man, you tell me that's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. And
Those are very,
this one here,
those
These
make
two-
an impression
these
on
two,
anyone.
these two little boys
Mhm.
in the water, swimming. Are they trying to get away, or are they trying to stop from being captured, or what are they trying to do?
I think they're trying to get away.
They're trying to get away.
Now the piece,
Some of them would rather
Brother Nelson.
drown than become over here and be a slave.
Thank
the piece all the way over in the corner,
you.
right
Hit
there,
on the head. Yeah.
standing up against
Standing up.
would look like the people on top. Could you explain that one to me?
That's a family tree. It's one of those things like in Africa, that's an African tree.
Family tree, okay.
Yeah, and, you know, they got together, they worked together.
Oh, wow. It would be interesting to see how that was put together. Probably made separately and then just put together.
Yeah, you probably fall asleep before it finishes.
Looks like they got done, though.
Yeah, you're right, they got it done.
Looks like they got done.
That's the picture you're looking for?
It wasn't, but this is one that I had forgot I had and didn't know I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found it, I was glad I had it though. You remember when, did anybody go down to the Art Institute when they had the preserve the legacy down there?
Yeah, I didn't make that.
Huh? This is
Wow.
what, this is from that series.
Exhibit?
Yeah. from the
Oh,
exhibit.
wow.
And so,
Wow.
I was gonna get rid of it.
Mhm.
And a friend of ours, she was over here and she said, no, don't do that. She said, give it to me. I said, no,
It's saying a lot. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot going
there's a
on.
lot going on here.
Frame it up and find somewhere to put it. Along with the rest. It's saying so much.
You're right, you're exactly right. Find somewhere to put it.
I know my mother didn't want to talk about, she didn't want to talk about picking cotton anymore after she left down south. She said she didn't want to hear nothing else about no cotton.
Yeah, that's what most of the people that left.
Yeah.
But I didn't shoot. I was young at the time when I left, so I didn't think about it.
What about this photo right here? Black and white, that little boy sitting down with his hands.
That little boy,
That little boy.
my wife, was
You can zoom in on that one.
my wife, she pick up these books, what is that, Architectural Digest, that they be printing, showing furniture and good house, sharp houses, and she was trying to pick up something that she could put to, because we had just moved in here.
Okay.
And so she found this picture in a book
Okay.
Wow.
owned by some white woman. But it was, the pieces on there was on this white man,
Yeah, all black memorabilia
No.
type.
you know, and so all his little pieces. And they
Okay.
was all German pieces made in Germany.
Wow.
They said the Germans the only somebody that made decent pictures of us as kids. Now, when they were doing them over here, it was always bucket dancing or doing
Yeah,
something, this and that.
buffoonery type
And
stuff.
so they
yeah.
said they jumped and did it.
Okay.
So when I was getting it framed, I decided to frame that picture. Gary did that picture.
Mm-hmm.
I put it together.
Because actually, he's posing for that picture. So he knew they were taking his picture.
Oh, the little boy? No, he wasn't. That's me when I was a baby.
You were posing.
That's me when I was a baby.
You were posing. That's what I was trying to get you to say.
Yeah. And so I looked, I said, I'm not gonna have no white woman in here, and I got all this black stuff here. I'm not gonna have no white woman up in here on the center of the picture, no. And I told Gary to put that in. So he took the picture and put it in.
Yeah, I can see a lot of happiness. You were in a good space at that time when you took that picture. That's what I see.
Yeah, I was, because I was one of the little kids being spoiled at the time. My sister was behind me. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
But it was some things happening down south that was something, you know. And it was the things that weren't told to us. Just like I had my two uncles. One of them went to town, which you call Clarksdale.
Mm-hmm. Now, folks talk
Clarks-
about Clarksdale all the time.
Went
Which
to
is where my
Clarksdale.
father's from.
All
Went
the
to
time.
Clarksdale. And he was sitting in the car. And he kept a car. Because he worked for the man that owned everything in Clarksdale. Anyway, he left the car to go, told his friends, I'll be right back. I'm going out here and holler, because they called them cafes at the time, you know.
Right.
So he went down and hollered at them, and these two white boys came by, two brothers, and they was crazy. They was always messing with black people. And they saw his cashmere coat over in the car, because he had the top back. And so they asked who coat is that? And they told him. And he, all right, he ain't got no man with no coat like that. Can't no nigga afford no coat. And took his coat out. And then started walking down and went in another little joint. He came out of that place, walked in there, saw it, who messed with my coat? He said, hey, the so-and-so brothers, they did it. We told them that was your coat. He said, okay. He reached over in that seat, and he had a little saw baseball bat. You don't know where he got it from. He went up in there and said, hey, I want my coat. He said, what coat? Coat you got there in your arm. This ain't your coat. He said, I'm telling you it's my coat. And he said, he's hit him, place full of white folks in there. See, everybody jumped back. He said, he looked. And so, but see, everybody knew that this was Mr. Mills' son. And he backed up, and he got out, and he came, went on home. And
Had to leave town, didn't
no, not right away.
he? Not then.
So because that night, the guy that run the town, a white man came out to the place, told Granddad, hey, I heard it. You heard it? I heard what happened in town today. He said, yeah. He said, well, maybe. He said, no, don't send him nowhere. Ain't nobody coming out here to do shit to nobody. So that's, hey,
Word was out.
yeah, the word is out. And I was like, ugh. And so my uncle that he passed a few years back, he used to tell me all the stories, all the things that he done. you know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I say if you got someone that don't mind talking and tell the stories or tell what's happening, you know. But then some people will be saying, oh, he was lying or so and so, but just keep telling.
But we have to we have to pass the culture down the same way.
Yeah.
You know, because we have told those type stories, and they are very necessary. But we had so much good information to pass down concerning the culture, something that we'll never lose because it's a part of us.
Right.
And so that we have to do the same thing. We have to talk about the good as well as the not so good.
Exactly.
But it's all an experience. Okay. What do we have here? These These big pieces right here.
Those our African brother came a couple of years back, and he was up in Evanston to the festival they have up in Evanston. My daughter was up there too, and the wife went up there. And when I got there, I walked out because they had called me and said, "Come on, you got to come on up here because we're gonna be breaking down, you know." So when I got there and I got up there and I was on my way over to where she said she were, and I saw this piece standing out in the park, and his brother standing over there by it. So I said, "Damn." I said, "Well, I ain't gonna ask him now because I know he gonna say he want an arm and a leg for this piece." So I got to talking with him. Told him, I said, "Look, I like this piece." He said, "Well, you want to put some money on it?" I said, "I don't have enough to put on it." And he said, "What you got? Tell me how much you got." I said, "No, that's all right." I said, "But I like it. Don't sell it. I'll be back." So I went on and found my wife, and she said, "I got a piece I want to show you." Yeah, it's really something. Same piece. I came back. That's what the piece.
Oh boy.
So the guy
Meeting
said,
of the minds.
yeah, he said, you know, and he told me what he wanted for it. And I said, "That's a little bit much." He said, "No, but both of y'all wanted this piece," like he said, "and you came and saw it first. He was here." She said, "I told him I had to come bring my husband back over here." She said, "Yeah, but he was already here and he saw it, and you all both saw it. And this old
That's
white-
because y'all are soulmates.
yeah. And this old white woman had came back and told him she was gonna bring him some money back. And I said, and he told me that, and I said, "Well, if she don't come and bring it back, could you bring it?" He said, "I'll bring it to you."
Okay.
I said, "Okay." So next couple of days he came, gave me a call and said,
Yeah, let me touch it.
"When you want me to bring it?"
Almost a big thing.
And I said,
Oh yeah. See, I'm glad I did touch it. Cause I thought it was cloth. At first.
"Oh yeah, no."
I'm just looking at it. I thought it was cloth, but it's not.
That brother bought that piece here.
So they put in some work on that
On that
one.
piece. And he took that piece, he had it in his van.
Mm-hmm.
In the side of his, over that side door.
They put in some work with that.
And he set it down on the ground. Him and his partner set the piece on the ground. And I said, "Now how you gonna get this thing up to the second floor?" I told you, I said, "Cause I can't carry it. I ain't gonna try to lift it up. You don't have to." He said, "That's why I got my buddy in here with me." He told the guy, he said, "Push it over on my back." He did like that and pushed that piece over on his back.
Are you kidding
And he
me?
stood up and he hit that door and came up them steps. Never lost a step.
With that on his back?
On his back.
Man, that's hard to believe. I'm glad I asked.
That's what he got. He bought it up here on his back.
I'm glad I asked. So there's a real story behind that piece.
Oh yeah.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was cloth until I touched it.
Now Maurice does. He has like a lot of what's the stone? The
Serpentine.
serpentine
Stone.
pieces.
Yeah.
And I was just showing Sydney some of it, and I'm trying to bring it up now on my phone. I have a nonprofit organization called Aid Phase Africa, and we do humanitarian missions in Africa and other parts of the world, the Caribbean. And so I've collected a lot of art from those experiences. And the Shona I had shipped over probably about 5 years ago, so I still have quite a bit of it. I've sold a lot of it, but I've got some beautiful pieces that are still available, for sale. And
He had this one he showed me that he had sold, but it was like a lady about as long as your table,
Yeah.
laying out on
Outside.
on a
bench.
yeah, and it was on a bench, one of them outside benches.
Yeah.
I was like, man. He said he sold that.
That was good. Brother Nelson, what year do you recollect you started collecting your art?
About 3 weeks ago.
You've been working overtime, man.
trip up
But-
over there.
Yeah.
This is
And
beautiful.
you know I did that too.
This is beautiful.
You
Yeah.
know, when I was working for,
Oh yeah.
when we working for the city,
Yeah.
and you know I started doing that security out of her,
Mm-hmm.
I'd go out there and get in this truck and sleep all night. Cause a part of manager was supervisor out there of security. He begged me to come out there, and I finally broke down and went.
And he had actually used to work at that steel mill.
Right.
The one that closed up outside.
Right,
Yeah.
right, one right.
No, this was the old one.
Oh,
Three
oh,
pieces
yeah.
of it.
Off of 80
Yeah.
something,
Oh,
South Shore.
Yeah.
And but I know now Nelson, he has I guess his ability to have discipline and his work ethic, kind of integrity he does.
Famous.
This is,
Jamali
a,
and
this is a work
Tutani,
ethic right here.
the,
Yeah.
You can
artists,
see it.
but
And
Jamali is that larger piece is from Jamali, and the with the three faces.
so
Yeah.
one of the things that he was doing, man, is he went to where they was importing the pieces in. And so he went in there to look at some stuff. A guy took him, said, "Man, come look." And he was in there looking. He said,
family.
I can't find nothing in there. So the guy said, well, man, he offered. He said, man, I could straighten this out for you. And he went to straightening the guy's stuff out. And that just gave him access.
Okay, that's an
To-
interesting
If I can
story.
pull the other ones.
Brother Nelson, you got to tell us about that.
About when you went in and put the
You gotta tell
guy's
us about
place
that.
where you went to look for some stuff, couldn't find stuff, he had it all junked up, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
started cleaning it up for him.
Tell us about that.
I don't know which case that was. I did a couple of them like that.
Yeah, but he went in and the guy just said, hey man,
So that was
but that
order,
gave him access
order
to
out
it.
of chaos, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about when?
Cause you had brought in some nice pieces. I remember you had some of them other bigger pieces that you got came out of that.
You made order out of chaos. That's what it sounds like.
I think I know what you're talking about now.
So probably that gave you the incentive to continue collecting, or had you started collecting at that point?
Oh yeah, he had
Yeah, I had started at that point. That just another door opened up.
right, yeah. Cause I remember the mask, the elephants. I used to
Right.
like them elephants that you had. And that piece you talked about the
One in the
and
corner.
and then he had these
Yeah.
he got these door panels but he collects everything. Toys, any of the toy, black
Anything
toys,
black.
the
Everything
right.
black.
Okay.
There's not a cereal box or Wheaties where some black folks was on it that he don't have.
See, that's culture.
He got
That's culture. You know?
Black stamp
stamps.
collection.
That's culture. Which we have lost so much of our
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he was good. And I remember I used to come by and he'd be sitting in the floor putting jewelry, necklaces and stuff together. He done bought the beads and was raising the African cichlid, the fish stuff. It was just like,
This piece over here in the corner with he's got something in his hand,
Right.
but he look like he could be Black Jesus on there. That's what I see. That's what I see.
Keep looking and keep thinking.
Yeah, imaginations just take off when people walk in your door,
This is the
and we may not be too far wrong.
color version of that.
Then I started collecting stamps.
Stamps as well.
Every day. Right.
I was at the unveiling in DuSable. They unveiled Jimi
Mark.
Hendrix.
Jimmy?
Jimi Hendrix last month, August. They unveiled a Jimi Hendrix stamp.
Was Musette there?
Pardon?
Musette. This lady named Musette. From the from the
I
post
think,
office?
I think probably so, yeah. It looked to be the same people they send out all the time.
Cause she had did she have big stamps,
Yes,
big pieces?
yes.
She taking it back home with her?
Probably,
Cause she told me,
probably, I'm not sure.
she stayed next door to
Right, stay up the street from
Right up
me.
from
Yeah.
State. And she
Okay.
told me, I got a stamp for you. You know, and I went to her house, knocked on the door, and knocked. Sydney went home, she went home. I was getting pissed off. And them damn kids across the street.
Oh yeah,
bad
yeah,
ass
yeah,
kids
man,
running
yeah.
and throwing rocks and all kind of shit. I said, come on. I told my wife, we gotta go, cause they gonna mess around and hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to try to be getting into it with nobody over here.
Yeah, them that corner.
Wild
man.
bunch.
Yeah.
Going around.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
You got them all.
yep.
These are so valuable. George Washington Carver.
I got
Piece called The Couple. It's a heart that they're cutting out of.
Is this outside your house?
No,
Inside?
this is indoors.
Oh.
But I took the pictures outside on the lawn.
Okay.
These in the back. All these must be the same.
Like I seen that picture before.
There's nothing hidden here. You know, they got that hidden color sense, you know, series. And there's nothing hidden here.
You seen 3 yet?
Yeah, I just saw it.
I was telling Maurice about it. He hasn't seen any of them. 1, 2, and 3. They off the chain, man.
Oh, 3 brings it all home.
Yeah.
3
They're all
brings it
excellent,
home.
but three caps it all off.
3 brings it right on home. If you haven't seen 3, boy, you need to see. You seen it, right?
Mm.
Oh, you gotta.
I gotta see
check
it,
'em out.
yeah.
It's a 1, 2, and 3, but 3 really brings it home.
I'll get you some copies because I got all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy, I just saw it. I could have had it before, but I just got it this weekend. Past weekend.
This is, I started collecting these stamps and stuff and got,
Mm-hmm.
couldn't stop.
Mm-hmm. Who's that? Paul Robeson?
Where?
Paul Robeson right here? Over here?
Yeah, that's Paul.
Mm-hmm.
There's there.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get a chance to meet Paul Robeson?
Paul, no, when Paul came along, I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I remember talking about it and reading about it.
Oh, wow. Oh, they did the whole series on the jazz musicians.
Yeah,
Charlie Parker.
yeah. Yeah, you got it.
And he's had paintings and stuff done. Had a guy that's an artist to put together some paintings of those individuals. You know, Louis Armstrong, Billie Holiday.
Pop, son.
Clyde McFadden. Oh, wow.
And
So
some
you literally, this is a museum.
and music. He
This is a
collects
museum.
music.
This is a museum.
I know I came in there one day. You played it really for seemed like about 2 hours. You was playing Nina Simone.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I mean, it sounded like just the original
Yeah.
hit. I'm like, man,
Talking about bringing it home.
and just kept going. I'm like, okay, is this a tape? This a tape? It's like, gotta be.
Mississippi, goddamn.
You might have to get me some Nina
Me
Simone.
yeah, Nina was I was praised by Nina.
I got 45,
praying
but I'm gonna
about
have to get some albums, some CDs with Nina Simone. Cause she put everything in music.
Oh yeah, she was yeah. Nina was a sack.
Brown piece.
One at the top. Yeah.
At the bottom, in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's actually laying out flat like that.
Chestnut.
And then there's another piece that's standing up.
Oscar Micheaux. Those your pieces from Africa, Mo?
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Micheaux.
Where in Africa?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe? Mugabe.
Yep.
I see. Oscar Micheaux, he had movies.
Right.
He was doing movies in the 20s.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they were warehoused at a certain place and time. Then all of a sudden that warehouse got empty all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they haven't been found since.
I've seen
by
some of
design.
those movies.
Mm-hmm.
They,
So we had our own Hollywood
Yeah.
before Hollywood.
Well, yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
We have to know that.
You ever heard of
So we had
Fritz
a
Pollard?
Hollywood. Yes.
Fritz Pollard? He was one of the first NFL owners of the National Football League back.
Oh wow.
This is back in the 1900s. First of all, he led Brown to the Rose Bowl in
So-
1916, Brown University.
Mm-hmm.
Then he became an NFL owner. Then he became a Hollywood director.
Fritz Pollard did all that.
Fritz Pollard did all of that. He's from Chicago. Went to Lane Tech High School. His mom used to answer the door. She was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. She used to answer the door with a butcher knife in her apron because it was so racist up there on the north side. When he was playing for Lane Tech High School, they used to, whenever they tackled him, they used to chant from the stands, "Bye bye Blackbird." And he used to have to get out of the pile up after he was tackled with his feet
Oh
thrust
yeah.
to there to kick people off him because they were trying to abuse him.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a piece on him during Black History Month back in the late 90s on Fritz Pollard, and he's telling these stories, and tears were coming to his eyes. But I say that he's the greatest black athlete ever because of what he went through. He was an owner. He played football. He became an owner, and he went to Hollywood and made movies. He was a
Might have to look that
contemporary
up.
of Papa Bear, George Hallis of the Bears, a competitor of Papa Bear. He was a serious brother.
I didn't
Fritz
know he
Pollard.
did all that.
He had a son that we might be more familiar with because he ran the Olympics with Congressman Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's his
Wow.
son.
Wow.
But the father, Fritz Pollard Sr., he was the real deal.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's that piece.
I knew about the sports
That's
part,
that
but I didn't know
piece.
he did all that other stuff.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went to Hollywood and made movies.
I didn't know
Like
he
I
was
say,
from
no,
Chicago.
That he sold
Lane Tech
on.
High School.
Oh man. We beat Lane Tech when I was a senior, and we thought we had won the Super Bowl.
Because they
We beat them by 1 point, but we beat them.
What high school you go to?
I went to Farragut.
Yeah.
I did too.
So we were at Farragut with Mac Heron and Harvey Blanks.
We were all there at the same time.
What
All
years
there
were
at the
you there?
same time. 65 through 69.
Oh, but you were there
So
with my
Farragut had
cousins.
that's when y'all had a factory over. Y'all had a great football
Yeah,
program.
that's when we did it. That's when we sent Otis Armstrong to the pros.
Yeah, Otis Armstrong.
I was there when he was there as well.
Oh yeah, those were some good
Because
years.
Otis Armstrong, Mac Heron, and Harvey Blanks. So Mac Heron and Otis Armstrong made the pros.
Yeah,
And Harvey Blanks,
yeah.
I think he might have had a cup of coffee. But they
Well,
all
he
made the pros.
went into acting.
Okay.
Harvey went into acting. He went to Washington University, I think.
Washington, University of Washington.
University of
Up in
Washington.
upstate Washington.
He played ball, but I don't think he played all 4 years because he went into the theater, and so he became an artist as well.
But Otis and Mac had pretty good pro careers till Otis broke his neck, hurt his neck or something.
Exactly,
And ended his career. But he was a
Exactly.
good back.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. And he lived right up the street from us.
Around the corner.
Yep. Father was a minister or something, preacher
Right down the corner.
on the corner.
Right down the corner. Right back
Was
right
Hannibal
down
there
the
when you were there?
Mhm.
Hannibal?
Yeah.
Harold
Oh
Charles?
yes, oh yes, Brother Hannibal the Freak. Oh yes.
Yeah.
He's deceased now.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other little guy who was pretty bad, Winston, the bald head guy, he was bad.
Oh yeah, he was. My brother Charles.
Yeah, Harold Charles.
Harold
He-
Charles.
Yeah.
Hannibal the Freak.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
He got me my first job working in a lab in Cook County Labs
Is that right?
in biochemistry.
Then he moved to
When-
Mississippi.
Mark when Fred Hampton and Mark Clark got murdered,
Mhm.
he took us over to the house. He took the class
Mhm.
over to the house to see,
Mhm.
in fact, that there were no bullets
Oh,
that
yeah.
came out. They all went
They
in.
all went in.
They were assassinated.
Hannibal had predicted back in the 70s that Farragut was going to become a predominantly Latino school. He had predicted that back in the 70s when he was teaching biology over there.
Well, it was always in their neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It was
In the
always
first place.
there. We were the outsiders.
Right. Right. He
But,
said they were going to
you
take
know,
that school over.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now
so-
it's an academy now.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Diggs that went to Farragut?
Miss Diggs?
Lena.
Yes.
And,
With the blonde hair?
no. I'm talking about my cousins. They graduated.
Oh,
with you.
yeah, Lena Diggs. I remember her.
Tyree Diggs.
I remember her.
Tyree, anyone of our frat brothers, you went to know him,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Right, that was your
I
cousin.
remember Lena.
And they were all
He didn't show
over
up
at
this weekend, did he?
no, they were all at Better Boys Foundation too. Tyree, Troy, Ratliff. So,
It's a small world.
Mm-hmm.
so what
Now I know
Francine
where you
called
were
it.
at. You were in the. It was like a trailer house back there or something. Behind the restaurant.
It was just a
It
house.
was a house, and then it was something else was back there too. There was a lot of stuff back
That
there.
was a garage
Yeah.
next
Garage.
door to us. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
There was
then
a
the
lot of
house.
stuff back there.
It was a weird place too. It was cool though. It was smooth. It was like a little. We would go back and go through the little door, go up some little stairs. We was in the attic or something.
And go out on the roof. It had an attic apartment
Ah, it was bad.
that had a door that went out to the roof. And we used
And
to
he
hang out
had
on the
right.
roof.
He had those KLH speakers. His stereo was so clear, man.
never
We'd
did
be
go
up
back
there.
there.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But I was all up and down Kildare though.
Yeah.
All up and down Kildare. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I never did go back there. Cause we were up and down the street. Then we went back down by the park a lot too. Down there playing ball.
We went over to Mason a lot, played basketball over there.
That's
in
where I
the
went.
wintertime, they had that, remember that? They had
Slide.
that big slide?
Oh, that was insane. That was crazy.
It was so much fun.
That was crazy.
I thought,
Mason. Then I went to the Little Red Schoolhouse. Then I went back to Mason.
you went to Hughes?
Yes, I did.
Me
I
too.
went to both of those.
God, we must know each other. That's gotta
Yeah.
be. We've seen each other before.
I
I'm
was
sure.
right there. I was right there.
Uh-huh.
Cause y'all really are almost the same age.
Yeah, well, you know, Gregory Armstrong was the same age as me.
Okay, Greg. Yeah, I remember Greg. Him and Michael Tony.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, but
Oh,
he
yeah.
he has some pieces too where of Miles Davis when he started doing art. He collected some of them
Who did? Oh, okay.
pieces.
All right.
You have Miles Davis' last interview, one of his last interviews?
Now I had
He
I bought a
said-
piece from. Cause you heard me pick it
Yeah,
up there.
well, I remember going down and picking
Man,
up.
they used to do shedding dirt, crime, what you call it.
Yes,
What did he
Miles.
say?
He went and bid it on was that the Color Purple poster? I mean, they had the
Right.
auction, and he ended up going down and
Take
getting.
picture,
Yes.
that flew outside the theaters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
How much did that go for?
Oh, they didn't have
They,
it. Two.
oh, they didn't have
About
it.
two. And me and Sid, I just said, we was at work. I said, come on, go with me. He said, where you going? I said, I thought I'm going downtown. They're going to have that damn bed down there. You know, in the, what is it, center?
yeah, it's a civic center or something. One of the
Yeah.
places. Yeah,
Down there where they got that big old
Mm-hmm.
piece that.
The
Yeah.
castle structure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we went down there and bid it. So I finally ended up, I still said, the lady ain't gonna get, with the lady bid together.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I don't think she gonna give up.
Mm.
And it's time for us to go. I said, yeah, you're right. Kept bidding and bidding. I said, God damn, I said, sure. And then they said, it's a tax write-off. I said, shit. Then open up the door there. I stepped up there and I bid. I said, I'm gonna push her. See how far she go. And I kept bidding. She dropped off. So I said, we got it.
Mm.
And got it.
Mm.
Yep.
What'd you do with it?
What's color purple?
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting in the bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about these pieces, these lifelike. It looked like he's getting ready to say something.
He said it already. I'm home.
I'm home.
I'm home.
Okay.
Yeah, Woodrow had this piece, and when it was going down, he had this thing we call the chip and dip sale. That means this piece might have, say, somebody running through it and knock a little plug out of it,
A little chip off of it or
Right.
something.
and then it's hard to sell. You know? So we went down there with this group that I'm in, and so he was back in the back and we was talking, and everybody else was up front. So I said, that's why I want them all up front. And I said, Woodrow, I said, how much can you gonna sell it? He said, yeah. I said, no, he said, I'm gonna throw these pieces out. I said, well, can I have them? He said, can you have them? No, I said, I'm gonna throw them out. I said, yeah, but I said, can I have them? He said, oh, what you gonna do with them? I said, I'm gonna take them with me. You give them to me. So he said, I said, you don't know what I mean when I say can I have them. He said, yeah, I know what you mean. I said, you mean can you have them?
Wow.
He said, you can have them. I said, well, look here, I got to hide them back here where you at, because if they see me come way back here with all these pieces, and it was about, how many of us? 20-some of us, 25 of us, had rolled down together. So I eased it on out.
Beautiful.
So we,
Beautiful. I mean,
but
when I first.
what happened was with this piece,
Mhm.
I didn't get it then because he said, let me do some work on it. I'm gonna fix it up a little bit more for you, clean it, put this on and all that. So I said, okay. So he said, I'll bring it when I come up there. I'm coming soon. And I said, all right.
Beautiful.
But what happened was a big truck came off the highway and ran into his studio
Oh my
and
God.
broke all the shit. And it
Wow.
was one piece. Yeah.
What?
Broke all the pieces. Him and his brother was in the studio, but he was back in the back.
Did you have insurance?
So he was front. Oh yeah, he had insurance.
So he got
What?
paid.
He's, huh?
He got paid at least.
Oh yeah, he got paid. He got paid, and he got this piece got tore up. So the next time, it wasn't this one, but another one I had. He let me have it. And when he bought it that night, he was out at Dixon School. The
I caught him last May
yeah,
at Dixon School.
right, and
March.
Was it March?
March
March.
when they had
That's
it.
when they had it in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was something that started
That's
with
when I
him.
first saw him.
Mhm.
out there
And he
every March.
he bought it in, and so that's what
Beautiful.
what you gonna do? I said,
I mean, it just looks like they getting ready to talk. You
Right. I said, how you gonna get it? What, you know, I said,
know, realistic.
He said, how you gonna get it upstairs? I said, well, somebody help me. He said, all right, I'll bring it then. You want me to bring it? I said, yeah, bring it tonight. So he bought it that night, and I said, damn, how am I gonna get this piece upstairs? And so I'm sitting there, and right around the corner is a guy that I used to work with.
Hmm.
And I saw him, young boy. I said, hey, I need some hand. I need a hand. No, he saw me, because I didn't see him. He was on the other side of the street going to work. He worked down in that building, that old. And so he said, come on, put it on my back. So I said,
Back
"Wait a minute."
deal.
I said,
That's
can
the kind of
you?
help I need.
I said, can you do that? He said, yeah, I can do it. The young brother put that thing on his back and walked on up them steps. So where you want to put it? I said, well, I didn't have this at the time, but I had something else in there. I put it on. It's been sitting here since.
Look at the sister
And
over
this
there.
this look like, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. This look like it. Oh, that's his sister.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one is like they all look like they're getting ready to say something. He is super duper. Super duper.
Yeah, he didn't have that bead around his neck when I got him. I took some beads I had and put it around there.
What about the Nigerian brother, Dio? You got any of his stuff? He's always at
Mm.
Dio?
Dio, you got any of his stuff? Oh, okay. That is Dio. That one right there is Dio.
Huh?
That's
Yeah,
Dio
that's
right
Dio.
there.
Uh-huh.
In fact, all of them.
That's Dio.
That's Dio too.
Yeah. That's Dio. That's Dio in the front of you.
He's a Nigerian, he's from Nigerian royalty. He's
Right.
always at Dixon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of his pieces
Yeah.
throughout the
He
place.
got some stuff in the Bouchard Gallery.
Mhm.
Stuff down there too.
You ever been down?
Dial bad, brother.
You ever been down his house when he was having a party?
No.
Who?
You know who used to date Dio? He had to kick her to the curb because she was acting out of pocket. Remember Carol Briggs from North?
Oh yeah.
She used to date Dio. Carol Briggs, a.k.a. Carol became a principal.
Yeah.
School principal. But Dio had to get away from her.
Yeah.
He said, I can't handle this one here. You look me up too out of pocket.
She got a lot of pieces. She got a lot of good pieces. He did.
Yo, she got a lot
I
of
mean,
stuff.
pieces that's out of sight.
She was with him for a minute. Dio, he can go.
Yeah,
Those two pieces are his right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Used to paint.
Two painters on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a party one night, and we was all there.
Tell me about this party, because I've never been to any of this party.
It was like a thing he had put on the show, and it was everybody that stayed over hung around. I went in there and came out with some goddamn bottle of some kind of drink, and it was about like that. And it had all kind of roots and shit running through it.
That's the roots in there, huh?
Yeah, I said, what the hell is this?
Sound like that strong back that what's the name be putting together? They call it strong back. You can have your strong back.
He said, let's take a hit, let's take a hit. I said, no, you won't tell me what them roots are going on. Well, I take a hit. Fell out, man.
I know some of those African witch doctors were talking about, just take a hit of this and this will give you
Yeah, you'll be all right.
your manhood of double.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is it?
Next thing you know, your legs quit working,
Right.
your arms ain't working.
And you find
No
yourself,
line.
you be standing out in the yard.
I said, no, brother.
Hey man, how come you ain't got no clothes on?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm sweating up a storm, man.
So, brother Nelson, do you when you get quiet and when you're by yourself,
And what I do
when
is,
you're in the presence of all of your art,
I lay right on this couch.
how do you feel?
I lay back on this couch here, and I lay over there, and I think about my grandfather. My grandfather, he was always telling stories, always telling you what happened and what was going on. And I always think about it.
What was his name?
Joe Mims.
Joe Mills?
Mims.
Mims?
M-I-M-M-S.
M-I-M-S.
But they spelled it M-I-M-M-S.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Like
yeah. Hmm.
And hey, that's what I do. But I will, and
You wanna get
some-
over here?
No, I think I can get it without you. It's something that you asked that because I went to the theater
Okay.
and this picture was so touching to me. Precious.
Could you hold that up?
That
Mm-hmm.
I asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl said, well, they ain't gonna give that away. I said, how you know? She said, she was one lady that worked there in the little ticket stand. She said, they won't give that away. I think somebody already asked for it. And I said, oh yeah, okay. So I came back and I asked for it and it kept coming back. The lady told me, said, yeah, you can have it. I said, you take it. And so I took it.
We're relentless.
Yeah, because he saw it as art. It wasn't just a picture.
Picture to me.
It was art.
Definitely back.
I went to the opening when they brought his stamp out down at the
That's right.
That was at the main post office.
main post office,
Mm-hmm.
and they had all these speakers there,
Hold it up so you can get a. Mm-hmm.
and they had all these was signed by all the speakers that were there,
Oh, okay.
professors from all over the country.
April 9th, 09.
Mm-hmm. So I went, left work, sneaked off, came back to work with the picture, and everybody, God damn it, how you get to that? I
Wow.
said, hey, I wanted it.
Wow.
I went to get it. I said, that's what you was going for? I said, yep, that's what I was going for.
When did you get it?
Wow. So your love of the art and your unrelenting action to capture as much as you can physically has led you to the point where this evidently is part of your legacy or your legacy. How do you look at that?
Well, I let life put a stamp on that for me, because I don't know. You know, I enjoy it though. But I enjoy it just like you asked the question over there. When I'm here by myself, or when I'm here, wife went in there and went to bed, went to sleep, I might come out here, stretch out on this couch here and lay back, turn the lights down some, and look around. And say, wow, this is
Just
something.
feel the spirit.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I was
something.
gonna say. Feel the spirit,
Right.
feel the energy.
You got the ancestors in
Got
you.
the ancestors all. The ancestors are behind you 100%, 200%.
I have, y'all go.
I'm sure they're well pleased. Hannibal used to always have one of these. But he'd be over doing the Kwanzaa at Malcolm X. That's why I see you a lot. You always over there.
Yeah. Malcolm, right.
Is Derek Campbell still on there?
No,
God,
she
no.
retired.
Been gone.
Thank God.
She went to St. Louis, and then she's retired
Not
again.
even Chicago area. That's Malcolm, right? AKA from NIU, Jerry Campbell.
This is my house piece right
Can I
here.
take this back to your kitchen?
Yeah.
That's mine.
This is a piece that I got from Miles. Oh man, you were together there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Me and the
tough.
wife had went down that Sunday at this what was the name of the hotel? Right on before you go across down Michigan, before you go across the bridge. It was a hotel right up the corner where the Regents, the High at the time. Anyway, they had got his art from people. I mean, they say a lot of his stuff got away. I mean, just got away. People, you know, and so they had this for sale, and I kept standing there. They was bidding on it, bidding on
It's
it,
right there, too.
Another artist.
and bidding on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, look here, I'm gonna stick a big down. They said, well, if the guy told me, he said, well, if it don't go, then you come back tomorrow. I said, would you hold it for me? He said, yeah, put some on it. So I gave him, I said, how much do I need to put on it? He said, give me $50. So I said, okay. Gave him $50, came back that next day, and got it. And this was right after the time that he had, the story on this piece was, you remember when he went into the drug thing and that drinking and all that?
Therapy.
They said you need to, the doctor told him, said you need to go back to doing something you're using your hands
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And he said, what can you
He
do?
credits Billy Eckstine with saving his life, though.
Yeah.
Billy Eckstine pulled him aside and said, you're messing up, buddy.
Right.
You need to quit what you're doing. Get off that mess.
Yeah.
You know, I think Billy Eckstine saved his life. They asked Miles in one of his last interviews, what would you do if you had one day left to do on Earth? What would you spend it doing? He said, strangling a white man. He said, strangling a white man.
Yeah.
Miles was a fool, man. He would say anything.
Yeah.
He said, strangling a white man.
This was a picture.
Yeah, he was a very talented brother.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
From Alton, Illinois.
So talented.
Son of a dentist.
Right.
Middle class.
Yeah.
He wasn't poor.
Yeah.
But his daddy supported him when he left Alton, Illinois to go to New York at the age of 16 to play with Bird and Did. He said,
Yeah.
Miles, just be yourself. Don't play like nobody else. Be yourself.
And he was there.
Yep.
And that's a Bibbs piece. Is that what that is?
That's the Babs. Yeah, Charles.
That looked like Grover Washington there. That one.
Mm-hmm.
He was trained.
Coltrane.
Yeah.
Ray
Big
Charles.
Charles. Yeah.
And those the ones he had the young guy do for him.
Who is this guy?
Frank.
Right.
This one?
What about this one? That's supposed to be trained with a goatee? What we got up there?
Bob Ayers, something like
Kinda
that.
looks like-
And that's a nice piece up there too.
Yeah, I was checking that out. Yeah, this one here. Who did this one? That is really out of this world, as you can tell.
What's up, Glenn? Huh?
Yeah, should have brought my camera.
Yeah, man, I'm in here now. At Nelson's. Yeah, I parked on right. Yeah. All right.
My friend told me over to the guy's house that she know he had art throughout his house. But it's
What was
nothing,
his- what was his
nothing
name?
like this. His name is Mitch. They call him Mitch. Mitch, yeah, he kind of dibbles and dabbles in house
Look at
music
this
too.
piece here, Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
You
got
know
art all through his house, but nothing as cultural as this. Wow, this is a
He's
museum.
like Frederick Douglass laying down up there.
That, y'all should know something about him. He was on the west side.
Who is that?
This brother here, Bill Ross.
Bill Ross.
He did posters for taverns and things. You know, did art. For
Oh
taverns.
yeah, on the side of the
Right.
Mhm.
Outside.
Mm-hmm.
He did those.
I never did know his name though.
Yeah, but I got that piece at the flea market. It wasn't in that frame,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of bent up. You know,
Okay.
the frame was bent. Somebody walked in. So,
The Rego.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
yeah.
Cab Calloway and his blazing orchestra. Howdy, howdy, ho. That hair flying around. That was a bad
Explain
brother
to
there,
us
boy.
how you got that piece and who did that piece the way they did it.
What's his young brother name? He stayed right in the same area Dio stayed in. You know what Dio stayed.
The little, yeah.
He stayed right down there, and he always be at the Delta shows.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of his name now, but what is it over there? Oh, yeah. But I was coming out of Dio's one day, and after picking up a piece of art from him,
What's his name?
Jason Jones.
Jason.
Jason's always at what's his name? Used to always have these shows, sponsored shows. He used to work for the city. Tight with the Daily Administration. What's the brother's name? Light skinned brother, like a politician. And he would host these black artists shows. I've been to a few of them. And Jason's always there.
Yeah.
That is, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, but when I stepped around the corner with that piece, he said, "Come on in my studio." So I said, "Okay, Jason."
And he had to do it that size so that you could feel it.
Yeah, it was large, you know. I said, "Hey, Jason, I don't know if I can even get this home." He said, "Well, I help you get it home." I said, "How?" He said, "We'll walk it to your house." I said, "Okay."
Real simple.
So he ended up selling it to me, and I bought it. But I had another friend of mine help me bring it home because I needed a truck. Put the
Regal
tobacco.
Theater.
Yep. This I bought back, me and the wife bought that back from the Dominican Republic. We went down there on with somebody took, who did we go with? Did we go with? We were a small group of people anyway. We went down with Samuel Kenya. And the guy, the wood shop, you know where you got the
On 75th?
75th?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's down there on 40. What is he at now?
He moved?
He
He's
moved.
still there, ain't he?
Well,
moved
he
from
got
75th?
He's
one.
still there?
He got his studio still out there,
Okay.
but he down there by what is the place on 47th Street? Right by what was her name? She had a. She got a little house.
Oh.
on 39th Street, 39th and
You talking about what's up? You
It's
ain't
a-
talking about the one that died.
on the west side of the street. It's
Yeah,
a,
you talking about the what's her name, Margaret Burroughs or something?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's she
On
had-
Michigan.
Yeah, on Michigan.
38th
That's where-
and Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Southside Community
That look
Arts
like
Center
some,
on the other
that
side.
look like some Margaret Burroughs work. That's the kind of stuff she was doing.
Did you get it in the zone of colonial? The colonial zone? The Dominican piece.
The Dominican piece.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got it in
Look at this piece here.
got it down there. A brother made that. He gave it to the wife because she had bought a big piece from it, and he gave it to her. And she, I was in here one night, put stuff together, and I decided to put that up there, and it's been there ever since.
And who did this piece?
Which one? That piece?
Mm-hmm.
It was Shocks.
Dollar Shocker. Cause I got a piece like that, but it's a woman and a child,
I
a
got
girl.
one in the front. That's what I was looking over there trying to find
Mm-hmm.
to let you see.
Yeah, yeah,
It's that big.
yeah, yeah,
And I saw, and I didn't realize I had forgot about it.
yeah.
And the other day I was up in there looking at putting that stuff out and going through, and saw it, and the piece is huge.
Yeah, he did some
On
nice
there.
stuff. That when we had the show at the gallery, he filled it
up, right.
with his wood and his paintings, and then he had the the whole. I mean, it was like that was some work. Just
Yeah.
setting that, getting that show in
I
there
know.
with all of the stuff he had.
He
I'm
would
like,
have stuff
"Gee."
laid. He'd have stuff laid out in the park when they had these shows, like at Deuce Harbor, and he'd have all his paint just laid out on the ground, and tell you, "Go ahead and pick out something."
Yeah.
And then turn his back and be just going on, blah blah. I tell him, I said, "I'm not going over there and pick out shit." I said, "Well, you don't shit. People think I'm stealing." I said, "I'm walking away with your stuff." He said, "Well, you know you ain't stealing." I said, "Go ahead." I said, "No, I ain't gonna mess with that." But that one piece I end up with, I don't know if he told me to go ahead and take it or whatever. I think he told me to take it. I think I had a little under what he wanted for it. Because I
Yeah.
had left the place, show at Deuce Harbor, drove home, got what I had left, came back and said, "This is all I got." He said, "God damn it, give it here.
Yeah,
Take the piece and go head on home."
yeah. Cause I just traded him for.
What's that Latin artist, sketch artist, Diego? You ever familiar with him? Huh?
Isn't that the guy that I met? That did
He
the
used to leave his
Sharpie?
stuff just lying around all the time.
Yeah.
He was a sketch artist, Diego something. Hell of a sketch artist, but that's what he used to just leave his stuff just lying around, you know. And
That's not the same guy.
I don't
Another guy,
think
no,
it
it's not the
is.
same guy.
But this is the guy we met was the Sharpie King.
The Sharpie
he
King.
he could do some stuff with a Sharpie till even Sharpie had to give him some play because he used they pens, you know.
I'm glad you're a collector as well as an
Got one of
artist
his pieces.
because those black Barbie dolls up there,
Right.
they need to reproduce those. They need to be back out in the market
In the black community.
because our children need to see those.
Right.
And that you have to have a artist's eye to collect that and hold on to it
Right.
because you don't see them
I was at the flea market and saw it.
at the flea market.
Right.
Oh wow!
Snatched them up for what I thought about, $15 a piece.
Oh wow!
The two big ones, 15. I think the other small one was less than that.
Because you can't find them. Yeah, I definitely need to see those. Wow, I'm glad we came in this room. I'm glad we came in this one.
You know him?
Seems like I know.
You should know him. Don't you know him, Sidney?
That looks like
That's Bobby Rush. Right?
Yep, that's Bobby Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Pink Panther.
What you call it?
His post when Chairman Freer got murdered. He wasn't where he was supposed to be.
That's nice there too.
William O'Neill, he was the one that gave him the layout of the room. He was so overcome with his traitorous act that he walked out in the middle of the Eisenhower Expressway in the 90s and committed suicide.
Wow.
William O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
See, they can't oppress us without help from
the
us.
day before the interview was supposed to come out with him in it. That's what that was. The interview was coming out the next day with him in it. So the people that didn't know who he was gonna know who he was.
Right, William O'Neill.
Wow. So he jumped off the bridge on First Avenue.
Yeah. Committed Harry Carey.
That'll do it.
Died an honorable death. Or dishonorable. However you want to look at it.
I'm glad you
I don't think nothing honorable about dropping off a bridge.
Not in this society, in the Western world. Right?
Now, who did this here?
Society.
What?
It's
That's
like a
honorable
poem
in
or
this
something. I'm
society.
glad you stayed.
Harry Carey
My
was
daughter.
suicided in
looks like a
Japan.
poem.
My daughter did that. She
Depending
write
upon the
poems and
circumstances.
stuff,
You know.
stuff like that.
Now, what she does a thing for the radio station too, right?
Yeah, 95.5.
Who was
Okay.
that?
My daughter.
Oh, okay. What's 95.5 now? What's the
I
program
don't know.
on
It's
that?
over here coming out of Hyde Park over.
Oh,
57.
University of Chicago?
Yeah, University.
Oh, that's not WHPK though, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, WHPK is 89.5. That's what that is. WHPK 89.5. I listen to that every
Yeah,
Sunday.
89. Yeah.
They play jazz.
Yeah.
Who is this brother?
Well,
Here.
shit, everybody tell me that's me.
It looks like looks like you.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that you in the backyard?
Front yard, side yard. They come around back, I run around the other side of the house.
Whose painting is that, Brother Nelson? That sister up there.
Straight ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, that we brought that back from Africa with us.
Bad piece there.
Uh-huh.
Bad motor scooter there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some showing up painting there.
That melanated black queen there.
Oh man, this is a museum.
The South Museum ain't got nothing on this.
Mm-mm.
You need to come over here, Carol Adams, and take notes.
Mm.
My sister been trying to get her to come back, but she always, I'm busy.
Yeah.
She's too busy. She ain't.
And it's the quality
Oh.
and substance of the stuff that he has. And cause I was telling, I had went to Atlanta, went to the High Museum, and I was expecting to see something. And oh man, I was like,
Disappointed.
man, yep. I said, man, let me go on back over to Nelson's house and sit down for a minute.
Yeah.
And
This is
regroup.
it.
You know Frank Fraser?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, when he was
He,
here.
he's telling me about the museum in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he was talking about you need to send some stuff down to, you want me to send some stuff down to Texas too and put in the museum there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they'll,
Where in Texas?
I don't know, I haven't been there. So, but my wife went down with a church one time, they went and stayed with him. And, you know, come on down there. So, but I did.
Yeah, cause he's funny, man. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, this is quite an experience. I'm glad you brought me by here to see it.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna get him some of the music from Fields, cause I know you keep his music, but I'm gonna get you some. But you got a turntable too, don't you?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's what?
It's playing.
It's playing.
Cause he got a bunch of wax.
In my bag, I got a copy of the documentary they did on him on PBS in May. I can give it to you before I leave.
And the one he collects a lot of music. He was music.
Oh man, music man.
He got,
Aficionado.
yeah. So whenever you move around, you gotta carry all them albums.
Well, right now, my album's on the west side. A brother named Adonis. I let Adonis, he done MP3'd everything I got over there.
Oh,
I'm
that was
tired of
good.
hauling them albums, so Adonis said, I keep them. Adonis is one of the, he was one of the pioneers in house music.
Okay.
West Side brother, he lives
Yeah.
on Parkside. Adonis is one of the pioneers in house music. He is
Yeah.
huge in England. They love Adonis. Him and Farley and Frankie Knuckles, them the guys.
Mm-hmm.
But young
And what's
brother, he's
the
younger
other
than all
guy?
of us, young brother. But he was huge in the house
Yeah,
music.
that other guy too,
What
Terry
happened, he
Hunter.
had to deal with he was on Priority Records, but he got too radical, so they kicked him to the curb. He started spitting all that Steve Coakley stuff. They said, "You got to go, man." Talking about Jews and how exploitative we are and all. You had to get out of here. But yeah, Adonis, that's who's got all my vinyl right now. I just left my stuff over there, over his house.
Yeah.
And so he's put all your music on computer.
Converted it for you.
For
MP3s.
his own listening pleasure.
Well, it's your music, so I'm sure he'll give you a copy of it.
He might give me some. I haven't talked to Don. I'm gonna have, now that I'm mobile again, I'm gonna have to go by there and check him out.
That's partially hidden, but I can see it's very exciting.
So that's why I always like that for it to be kind of hidden.
Okay.
It's kind of peeping out at you, you know.
Okay. Do we dare to part some of the strands just to take a peek further? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Where y'all going?
Well, it's tough.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
All eyes on you in this room. Don't do nothing foul.
That's right. You're being recorded.
You're on candid camera.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes look like
That's-
jewels.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
They all are the same. The eyes.
Black
Yeah,
light,
they are.
Black like that back in the old days. Like in the old days with the black light. Freak you out.
So today we see that everything is art. And it's cultural.
Right.
And it should be shared and it should be preserved.
Sure.
Because you have to know where you came from to know where you're going.
Right. If you plan on going somewhere.
Exactly. And if you get enough culture in you, you'll get up and go somewhere.
Right.
But if you don't know, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because I've been over to the Mexican Museum over on 23rd
Yeah.
Street over there.
Yeah.
And they show you how the Mexican heritage is intertwined in with the black heritage.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. I mean, I kind of knew it, but when I went there,
I saw a play over there
you know,
one day.
I learned even more.
called Yanga.
I saw that.
Yanga was about what you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yanga was a Congolese prince, and he was the hero of Mexico, African prince.
That's right.
Right.
And he fought for
And when you get
years
deep
without
into
a
the
capturing
interior
them.
of Mexico, they're proud. Deep into the interior, they're proud of their African presence and their
Oh,
African
yeah.
heritage.
Oh yeah.
And most of those indigenous cultures, when you get deep into them, they're proud of that African connection. You know?
Uh-huh. They are. Acapulco. And
But when they get over to the United States, everybody has to sell out and navigate through this matrix
Well, see, that's what makes
and
that so.
negate their identity.
That's what makes that so important because they took the time to create a museum and show you.
Right.
All you got to do is just go over there.
And then who was the
It's-
first
it's
governor
right
of
there.
Mexico? A brother by the name of
It's right there.
Vicente Guerrero.
It's
He
right
was the
there.
first governor of Mexico. And so they got a big old statue dedicated to Yanga in the boulevard in Veracruz.
He fought for over 20 years
there's a
for
lot of black people
independence,
in
for
Veracruz.
freedom.
That's where the
And they never could
ships
catch
came
you.
in.
No,
They never could catch him.
The
it's
ships
just
came
like
in.
Zumbi up in Brazil. You know, took the Portuguese about 500 years to overcome us in them quilombos up in Brazil because we went up into the jungle and stuff and we was whooping they behind, man.
That's right.
Zumbi was like, you know, like their Nat Turner. You know, he would be equivalent to a Nat Turner character over here. But he was trained by his mom. His mom taught him to be a warrior and a revolutionary. And so in
Just
Brazil,
like Fela, huh?
every year at the, I guess the Carnival, in like January, whatever, they have the
Yeah, the
Zumbi,
big-
Zumbi Fest.
It's a big one.
Yeah. He's the hero.
Big one.
Yeah.
So culture is everything.
Well, it is. We didn't know what
Culture
culture
is
was
everything.
until Phil and them started playing the music in
Culture
the 60s.
is everything.
Because before Phil Coran in the 60s on the beach, 63rd Street Beach there, when brothers and sisters congregated out there, 2,000 strong that entire summer, we didn't know what culture was. Culture was considered just the opera, or, you know, what white folks were doing. We had no concept what culture was. Opera, but
Yeah, Phil was, ooh, boy.
it's time for us to, define that for ourselves. And he was the pioneer of that. Him and, of course, Sun Ra. Sun Ra set the world on fire. He changed the whole art scene in New York.
Yeah.
He turned Allen Ginsberg and all them beatnik poets in Greenwich Village out, man. They started copying Sun Ra. All them white boys in New York. Sun Ra, man, he
Yeah.
set them on fire.
And I remember when we was down at Northern, and Leon Thomas came down there, and that's how I got to do my stuff in New York. Was Sam Rivers
Okay.
was playing with him,
He's a trumpet player.
and
Yeah, trumpet.
and so he just said, "Hey man," he saw my artwork because we was doing the Alpha thing too that around that time, and he said, "Man, this is nice, man. You need to bring this down." So he gave me a card, and he wrote this guy's stuff down on the back, Rashid Ali,
Okay.
and he had a club down there called Ali's Alley, which was in Soho, and I went, man, gathered up my few coins, and that's when I was with Denise,
Right.
and we
Tamara's
rode
mom.
on down. Yeah.
Tamara's mom, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
We rode on down and stayed in the van a couple nights. I set my artwork up in front of his place and met another musician
Okay.
that played with them, and he set me around to
You meet
meet
Archie
some artists.
Shepp, somebody like that.
Man, he didn't ever tell me what his name was, man. He just said, man, oh man, he gonna love it. You gonna love the place. They open up at a certain time, and I went around to where he told me to go, and met this little guy, Ivan Karp,
Okay.
who turned me on to this other lady who had a gallery, Susan Caldwell. That was the first piece I had sold. The guy gave me $950
Wow.
for it.
That was productive.
Yeah, it was
trip.
productive. It was productive.
Paid for the trip and then
Yeah.
some.
I'm
Well,
still
you know,
looking
we
around
was
for a
driving.
piece of chain.
You and Denise
I'm a
was
piece
easy.
of chain.
no,
in
me-
here.
That was what, like
Man, my
70
stuff
what?
wasn't safe.
70 what?
Whenever,
Piece of
when I
chain.
graduated, as soon as I graduated,
You
I
and Denise
went.
was eating filet mignon on the way back to Chicago, huh?
No, man, you know it was a check.
the
He
check.
wrote me a check, and I couldn't cash no check at that time, man. I was like, but I remember, cause Bronson was supposed to go with it, man. A lot of them guys said, you know, the artists, the art group, we were gonna go,
Right.
and they backed out, man. But it was too late, man. I had my van, had some gas,
You was ready to go.
right?
You
Went by the
going in.
Twins. They gave, I think I got about $80 and an ounce of weed from him, man. And I figured push come to shove, man. You know,
Right. Vacation.
a few.
They need medical marijuana back then, what?
Yeah, no, man.
No such thing.
Isn't that a strange twist things are taking?
Yeah, ain't it?
There's so much
The more
money.
things change, the more they stay the
Well,
same.
what took them so long to get to that, though? Because they gonna make so much money off of taxing it.
Other
Well,
people
they only know.
making money now,
Yeah,
like the CIA and the FBI.
cash money
Right.
that you can't even tell what they doing with the money, extra money they get.
Non-taxable money.
Right, they tax it, but it's when they get it, it's just cash. So they ain't, you know.
Today was the autumnal equinox. Coltrane's birthday.
What's this piece back here, Mr. Nelson? What is this piece about?
That piece
Looks interesting.
Oh,
Like Mandrill album cover.
That's what that's what it reminds you of.
Well, remind me to show you the piece on my when we going out
Mm-hmm.
that he did. It's more interesting than that one.
Boy, the lights. Those eyes in their nose.
Now you got that other piece too, the Bill Ross piece, that black and white one. Now you got that from the flea market too,
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, it's like
Picking up some
shopping at?
The one on Ashland?
Huh?
The one on Ashland?
Blue
That's
Island.
where you go?
Right on, no, right over there by on Roosevelt, down on Roosevelt.
you know the
Oh,
Canal
where the,
Street market,
Oh,
in
oh
Jewtown.
back over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You be getting some gems
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, that's the new. That's the new Jewtown.
That's the new Jewtown, right? They gave
Yeah.
them the boot, so they picked up
Yeah,
right there.
they didn't go very far, did they?
Oh,
But they make it work for them.
Yeah, they
I
making
was
it
over
work.
there. I was over there one day. I started to give me a couple of them Franklin Mueller watches. Man, they were like $150. Like $10,000 watch, but it was used. You know, well, still look good though.
Used or knockoffs?
Yeah, it looked real good. I didn't.
Did you know the story? Did you know the story of the Harlem Globetrotters?
I do.
And I'm going to say, you know, I did shows down at Can TV, and I did one on the Harlem Globetrotters. I did not know that they were from Chicago
Absolutely.
at the 38th Street Wabash.
One of our fraternity brothers,
I
Sidney.
did not know they originated right here.
Right, I was going to tell you, one of our fraternity brothers, his name is Steve Price. He used to work with me when I worked at the stock market at the Board of Trade. We both used to get so pissed during Black History Month when they would show the Harlem Globetrotters and they would just show the clowns, right?
Right.
Little Larkin them.
Get that
But
seed.
that wasn't the real, those weren't the real Harlem Globetrotters. Because his father was one of the original Harlem Globetrotters by the name of Bernie
Yeah.
Price. And you had Bernie Price, Hillary Brown, Rosie Hudson. Those were the real Harlem Globetrotters.
38th
and they were
Street
from right,
Wabash is where they played.
right here from Chicago.
Look at
Right
you
here from
remember
Chicago, and I did a show and I
Go back
invited
for
the
a-
wives
one
and the
night
girlfriends
basketball.
of everybody that was left,
Just say again.
and they brought all kind of pictures with them for that show. I still got that show. I did it in '91,
Yeah, before
and I
that.
still got that show.
Do you remember
And
this?
they came from everywhere with the history of how the Globetrotters got started.
Wow.
Right here in Chicago. The Harlem part always threw me off. I thought, I'm thinking New
They
York.
from New York, yeah,
You
but
know,
no, yeah, I remember that.
Right here,
Yeah,
man.
Chapel City.
Right
And
here.
now,
We got so
I
much
was watching
history we don't
special
even know
they had
about.
Yeah.
one night,
Right here.
and it was showing how he come down, and he was playing around the town.
I put the call out for, anybody that knew the Globetrotters.
Mhm.
People came from everywhere.
Yeah.
And he played against them in college.
So I didn't question them. I just interviewed them,
Drafted by the
If they said that they were
They didn't think
friends,
about it.
okay, you're a friend. If you was a cousin, it's okay with me. Sit down and share those experiences with us.
They down by so and so.
I
They
still
gonna
got
beat so
that
and so.
tape.
They gonna beat these white folks with cheer and shit. They started passing him the ball. He did not make
Is it
a
available
shot.
to
And
view?
then the second time
Yeah.
I saw it, it showed it again. I
Yeah,
said,
I
It's a
can-
documentary.
I can make that
Yeah.
happen.
On PBS about this
They were.
particular guy.
yeah, yeah.
They came up
Think
with
his
some
name.
history you would not believe, and pictures that they had back in the early days when they got started.
Well, the Globetrotters, like I was saying, our frat brother Bernie Price, his dad was one of the original Harlem Globetrotters. Bernie Price. Steve's dad is Bernie Price, and Steve used to get so upset when they showed Black History Month and they would show the Globetrotters, but they would never show the real guys. They would not show the guys that we're talking about here.
Right.
You know, they would just show
As you
Meadowlark
breathe,
Lemon,
as you
Goose
breathe.
Tatum, showing them cool and clowning.
Right.
But that wasn't the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
That wasn't the original guys, man. Because who was the big white boy center? Mikan? Hillary Brown, Globetrotter, used to kill Mikan. Used to kill him every time. And I worked with a guy named, when we were working for the Park District, a guy by the name of Tony Payton. He's the one that gave me all that history.
Because I was wondering.
Tony played with the Globetrotters.
I was wondering, how come nobody never told me about that? That they were started here in Chicago.
Right.
And then it dawned on me, maybe they didn't know.
Did you see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's piece recently? On the Shoulders of Giants?
No, I haven't.
That's what we're talking about right now. On the Shoulders of Giants. And he put out a documentary a couple years ago.
I got his book about the black scientists.
I got the DVD. I'll get you a copy. But on
Yeah,
the Shoulders
I
of
would
Giants
like, I
is
would like
about
to see that.
what we're talking about here in the original Harlem Globetrotters
Mhm.
and the Chicago.
How long has it been out?
Hit on the Shoulders of Giants been out for a few years.
Okay.
Kareem's documentary.
I have to. I have
And
to
he's
get a
got
copy.
Bill Russell in it. He's got Jerry West in it. You got people talking. Oscar's talking. Oscar Robertson. But
Okay.
hey, they put the truth out there. Man.
Yeah. Well, Kareem
It's
has
like
always
Brunson
tried
is
to do
doing
that.
about
Mhm.
another one of the
League,
old
the-
brothers. He's doing about the Negro
Negro
leagues.
Leagues.
Kareem
Yeah.
has always put it out there.
Negro baseball leagues.
Right.
So
Yeah,
the
I
history
did a
ain't gonna
story
be
on
written
them
unless we
too.
write it. Man.
Mm-hmm.
I did
Right.
a story
You
on
can't
them
even
too.
expect your enemy to write the true history. We have to write. The
We have to
Yeah.
write it, and we
So,
have to preserve it, and we have to pass it
So
down.
we're putting it out there, and DVDs are very important now because you can get the information to the people. Because a lot of people ain't reading books no more,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll watch the DVD. They're not reading no more. They don't read.
Yeah.
Like we used to read. They don't read like that anymore. They're more watching videos, and so you gotta get them the information that way.
Yeah.
Because they ain't gonna read no book.
So I see you have Ernie Barnes too. You got now. How many pieces of his do you have?
All right.
Yeah, but I know I see this one right here.
Yeah. I got a few of these. Got
Before my
one.
ass, we play pro football.
Mm-hmm.
Which
With,
is
Jim
this
Brown.
piece right here?
Oh, right here.
Oh, out here.
And I remember seeing this DVD, man. They did the Blue Notes, did a thing with Coltrane and them. This here piece. It's nice.
Blue
Yeah,
Note
that's
Records.
Yeah.
That's the
Founded by
CD
two
cover there.
Jews.
Yeah.
album cover.
Francis Wolff and Alfred Lyon. Blue Note Records.
A wolf and a lion, huh?
Yep. Alfred Lyon and Francis Wolff. They did a big documentary on them on Bravo one night. The guys, the brothers were, they all pretty much extolling it. At least they did love the music and kind of treated them right, They were making a lot of money off of it. Everybody was on Blue Note, Freddie Hubbard, Miles, Coltrane, Jimmy Smith, and they particularly loved Art Blakey, the two Jews. They loved Art Blakey and Jimmy Smith. Like they,
You remember when Miles went in this club on West Street? Pitfall, they told him he can't come in there or something like that.
when he
Can't
came
use
up
the
to
bathroom.
Northern.
He came up to Northern. Oh, it was hilarious.
Spitting on the white
on
people
everybody.
up front.
Yeah.
He spit on all the
What
white
did he
people
do?
in front when we went to college.
Yeah.
Up there, that's when
Yeah.
they just put out that On the Corner album.
Is that right?
Miles was
Yeah.
up there
What was
spitting
that,
on the
middle
white
seven?
people.
Cause a white boy
Yeah.
wanted to come and dance off of his clown in front of
He
his
was acting a
stage.
fool, and Miles
Turn
did
it.
that. He started spitting on him, man.
Oh,
Right
wow.
We
down
used to
the
get
front.
everybody though. We
Wow.
had Earth, Wind and Fire up there when they
Right.
were on fire.
Bosco,
Last Poets,
Wow.
Bosco,
Santana.
Santana, War,
Yeah,
Wow.
well,
Gil Scott Heron,
Eddie Harris.
I know that
Yeah.
Gil Scott. They got
Marcel
Freddie Hubbard and them
Duke
came.
Ellington,
Yeah, we had
Angela Davis,
70s
Yeah.
was jamming.
Nina Simone.
Nina Simone, Usibisa,
Right, Osabisa came, yeah.
Usibisa.
And I
You still
remember I
have
did a
music?
thing at my place, and Nina came by there. I was cooking fish and stuff.
Fish fry.
Fish fry.
You used to cook fish
Little set
regularly.
and talk,
Oh,
yeah. That was my hustle,
That's a
man.
staple,
Yeah.
man. That's his hustle.
That was
He
his
had it
hustle.
going on with the fish fry.
Yeah.
Getting that whiting from the Nation of Islam.
And their bread, they
What
just
happened
had
to
the
the whiting?
bakery.
I have not seen whiting in the stores.
You know, that was a hookup with Peru for them.
The Muslims in California don't sell it.
Yeah. That was some good fish he had back in the day. That was some good fish.
They
Them
still
fish
have the
fries-
bean pies, but
them
they
fish
don't.
fries was off the chain.
Yeah, I used to get them pie. My grandmother used to
It
fix them.
tastes good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of artists that came through there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what at the early 70s, beginning of the height of the black studies program. We had
Oh,
a
yeah.
brother up there, Hiram. Hiram was good, but they
Yeah.
kind of got him up out of there. Things started going downhill a little bit when Hiram left.
Yeah. But I remember we did a.
Hiram, yeah.
Yeah, we did a thing where they was having the council, the student council, and we went up in there and chained the doors so folks couldn't get out. They was having a meeting and was waiting on them to vote on having some people come through because we had Galib. Galib was
Yeah, he went to high school with me. He's 2 years behind me, Lenny Anderson, Khalid Bilal.
Yeah.
He's in Vegas now.
yeah, and I would love
been
to
out there a long
use.
time.
I want to be able to talk to him and see if we can even use a piece of his music.
Lenny Harris, rather.
You know, use a piece of his music during the documentary piece as well as even with Phil. If we could
He
get
was a staple at the Bulls Club in the 80s.
oh yeah, that was the
Every
spot.
week.
That
Him
was
and
the
Ken
spot.
Chaney.
Yeah,
Ken Chaney's from the West Side.
and all them guys, yeah, cause he
Lee
had
Alexander, she's from Marshall.
that guy Bill Dickens, the bass player. He's bad.
Oh, okay.
It's Marshall.
Yeah,
I thought she was Crane.
Is Ken Chaney still alive? Or did he make his transition?
He made his transition.
The D is still going strong and she's blowing up. Yeah, she's
She
from
has blown up.
Yeah, she's blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
But she was with him. She was his regular singer, D.
Mhm.
Alexander.
Yeah, she has blown up. She's everywhere at the same time.
Yeah,
She's at Chicago State. She's at DuSable. She's everywhere at the same time.
She's abroad.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she is. I was wondering how she was going to do Jimi Hendrix and James
She
Brown.
pulled it off.
And I showed up to see how she was going, and she did it. She had some Jimi Hendrix going. You knew exactly where she was going with it. She had James Brown, and of course you knew where she was going with him. She tore it up.
I heard this
She
tune
tore it
by
up.
Jimi Hendrix the other night on
She tore it up.
WDCB.
I didn't know she was so
Bob
influenced by
Cinderella.
them.
Really, I had never heard this cut before. You ever heard Red House?
Yeah.
Man, that is a bad blues. That
Yeah,
sucker
he
is
did
off
a
the
lot of
chain.
blues. He did a lot of
I
blues.
ain't heard Red House before, man. That
Yeah.
sucker was bad.
I got Red
I gotta
House.
find that one, man.
I think
Red
I got
House.
it. I think I got it. Yeah, Jimmy, he did a lot of blues.
Yeah, but,
You know.
So he called himself
huh?
a blues artist. He said he was a
Mhm.
blues artist. Jimmy, in his documentary.
Mm-hmm. There's a new movie coming out on it, or a documentary. Who's playing it? Somebody.
They're overdue.
Huh?
They were overdue. They were supposed to have the brother that's Andre 3000,
That's
Yeah,
who's doing
that's
it.
right.
That's who's doing it.
but
Yeah.
That's who's doing it.
they were supposed to have it out last
Yeah.
year.
So you know they're late, couldn't, but it's out now.
It was supposed to be
It's out
out.
now.
Is it
It's out
out?
now?
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
supposed-
done and it is out.
It's supposed to be out now.
Where? If it was out, I'd know about it.
It's supposed to be
'Cause I've
out
been looking
now.
for it.
Because I just heard it on the radio the other night that the new Jimi Hendrix movie or documentary starring Andre 3000 is supposed to be out.
Well, I'm gonna show maybe.
You
I
know,
missed
it never comes to Chicago first now. You
Mhm.
know, they always LA or New York 1st.
Mhm.
Then it comes to Chicago. They get it first.
Well, I live in San Francisco. A lot of things get released there first.
Yeah.
But I have
It's always California or New York, then Chicago. We're after them. So we'll have to.
I
see.
heard they had cut production. I heard they had stopped producing it.
Mm.
So
Well, last night I heard that it's supposed to be released, man. So
mhm,
I'll have to try to Google it and confirm that.
mhm.
But it won't be in Chicago first. Be in California or New York first.
I'll let you know.
That's a piece of work.
New York or California. New
I'd
York.
love to see it. As soon as I know it's out,
Mhm.
where it's at, I'm going to see
I'm
it.
I'm trying to visualize Andre 3000 though from Outkast doing Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Right?
he'd make an excellent Jimi Hendrix.
Trying to figure it out.
yeah, he
I
kind
guess-
of got
I
an
guess he
edge to him.
kinda- I guess
He'd
he
make
kind
an
of
excellent.
would.
He'd make an
Good.
excellent Jimi Hendrix.
Will Smith was miscast as Ali. I can see
Mhm.
Andre 3000
Mhm.
as Jimmy.
Oh,
I can see.
he'd make an excellent Jimmy.
I can see Andre. I can see because he kind of has a Jimi Hendrix. Kind of looks
Kinda-
like him physically.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Kind of looks like him
mhm.
physically.
Same build, very similar build,
Mhm.
skin color, the hair, of course.
Yeah.
And I know they played that was a mean piece they did with Outkast, Sleepy Brown, and them. What did they do? Big Boy doing what is it? Idlewild.
Oh, Idlewild was wild. It was
That
a
was
shame.
bad.
With Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. That
Terrence
was
Howard
nice,
low
man.
down, man.
That
He
was a
low
nice.
down.
But that was the music and everything.
Right.
That was a beautiful.
Terrence Howard.
I was
Terrence
tight.
Howard was out of his mind in that movie.
The dancing.
Yes.
Yeah, the dancing was was
God,
rock.
that was off the hood.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Idlewild.
Oh,
That was a
okay.
good one. With Outkast, Terrence Howard.
How did I miss that?
Oh man, they had
You
some.
need to, you do need
It
to
was
see this
gangsters,
one.
man.
Vin Raines was in it. Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Oh,
Idlewild
Idlewild.
with all the entertainment up in Michigan. That Idlewild.
It's I gotta be. But they have one Idlewild. I stayed in Idlewild,
Idlewild,
Michigan.
Michigan. My
Pick-
parents used to take us up there.
Yeah, my grandmother took me, man. I was picking fruit and stuff, man.
We was fishing.
That's where all the black entertainment used to come
Brooke
through
Benton
before
had a spot
before
up
we
there.
got
Mhm.
liberated. You know, before we
Then maybe
started.
that might be it.
Yeah,
But that movie
that's
is
where
off
all
the
the black
chain.
entertainment
Yeah.
You
used to
have to
come
get it
through.
on DVD.
But after we, you know, got liberated, we started
Yeah.
taking our talents to
It was a
Vegas
live
and
picture,
other
man.
places, you
Yeah,
know.
Macy Gray was in it.
You know,
Yeah, Macy Gray. Well,
Who was the woman that came out from New York? The singer that came out from New York.
Oh yeah.
That woman she was really good too.
Mm-hmm.
New York to sing.
Macy Gray.
She wasn't actually from New York, but
Oh,
that
okay.
Right.
That was the narrative in
Okay,
in the story.
okay. She must have threw down then, huh?
She did.
Yeah.
Plus she was a messy lady too.
She was a trip.
Oh well.
She had them spinning their wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And then turned out to be a phony and a fraud.
Oh well.
She was perpetrating a fraud all the way.
Perpetrating a fraud.
The whole time.
But they liked it, huh?
They don't look like ice
The
cream.
true Canaanite woman.
Ah, somebody
Yeah,
had to do it.
Idlewild. That was a
I
good
gotta look that one up.
Yeah, you do.
What about this bird? Is that a rooster on the top of his head? What is that? Is that a rooster on top
You
of
know,
his head?
remember?
That's him
Did
over
you
there
get
too,
this?
man.
Did you get this one, bro?
Mm-hmm. The
What's
picture.
the story behind
Are you
that?
from Chicago?
Who is that?
Chicken.
Casey Jones.
That's Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. What's the story behind Casey Jones?
Ain't that him over there too? It looked like him over
Which
there
one?
again.
Right here?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
They look like
I
him
got
right there.
that from somewhere. I don't know where I got
What's the story behind Casey Jones? Did he always walk around with a rooster on his head?
it. Yep. Always walked around with a rooster on his head. He's on the south side a lot, and he was on downtown. He had the rooster.
Somebody was recently telling me about that. So he would make the rooster dance or something?
Right.
Okay, somebody was just telling me about that.
He'll stop, tell the rooster something, just look at, tell the rooster jump off his head and jump down, jump on his shoulder, then jump on down on his,
Uh-huh.
Getting money.
huh?
And
Getting money.
Getting
dance.
money.
And
And-
they would
Yeah, they'd throw him money.
Uh-huh.
He'd be down on State Street and all down there. He would be down
Okay.
there. Yeah, a lot of times you go down. I see him many times down there.
did they call him Chicken Man or something?
They call him Chicken Man, but you end up
Like that
with
rooster
Casey
train.
Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was just telling me about it. They said, did you ever hear about Chicken Man? I said, Chicken Man who? Chicken Man what? So that's the Chicken Man.
That's Chicken Man.
Have you seen the brother down there?
Boy, this
He's
is a
all
museum
painted in
for real.
silver. You know, Michigan Avenue.
This is a
painted
museum
all in
for real.
silver.
Well, we have them at the wharf too.
You have him there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Silver
when I
and
first saw
gold.
that, I'm like, what the heck is that? Then he
Silver.
started moving, that freaked me out, man. I said,
What was that now?
he's all in silver. He's painted in silver. This brother. You see him down there every summer, standing right there on Michigan Avenue in front of Saks
Oh.
or whatever. He's in silver.
Oh,
And then, you know, he's just still.
he
you know, he's just
recently
still.
passed.
Then he'll start moving
Mhm. Yeah.
and dancing, and it's weird.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
recently
talented.
passed.
And they be giving him money.
Uh-huh.
Taking pictures. When you start taking pictures, you say, give me some money now.
Mhm.
Give me some money. You be taking my pictures without paying. You know.
Yeah. They got silver and gold down at the wharf. And they have the famous Bushman. This man hides behind what looks like a bush and then jumps out and stares all the tourists.
That's terrible.
They give him money too.
Yeah, they like
Sound like the Wahoo man Herb Kent used to talk about.
The Bushman.
You scared the daylights out them kids, man. Like, oops, cardiac arrest.
Wow.
So that guy died, Cal?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the name of his real name is on the tip of my tongue.
I
can't-
wonder if painting
can't call
himself
it.
and all of that killed him.
It was this
Yeah.
this year. I believe it was this year.
It's all in his pores, man. For quite a while he's been doing that.
And he was so still. You thought
Right.
he was a statue
Absolutely.
until you see him move. You
You
know.
make a move, you be like, oh,
Mhm.
whoa.
So Dolores Scott, is that a relative?
That's my sister.
That's your sister?
Yeah.
She was a singer?
Yeah.
Lord
She
God.
still be out there singing.
Yeah.
Did you go to school here in Chicago?
Yeah.
What school?
Harrison.
Went to
He
Harrison.
went to Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know each other?
Okay.
Or he
right.
Harrison.
back there with the white
Tell
folks
us some
at
stories
Harrison.
about Harrison back in that day.
Back there with the white folks at Harrison.
White folks.
Tell
you
us
ran,
about that.
You ran out of school and you ran home. Because they was chasing.
And you ran into school.
Exactly.
And what year? What year are we talking about?
Shoot,
73, so we
Yeah.
talking,
I want to hear him. I want to hear him say it for the camera.
oh yeah.
73.
Uh-huh.
Shoot, yeah. It'd be 73, 74, 75.
No, that's your age, just 73, so he's asking
Yeah.
you for the year
Yeah.
you were at Harrison.
Oh,
Yeah, when you were back at Harrison.
40s and
should I
shit.
go to Harrison?
So we're talking. You're 73. So we're talking.
Back up 3, 4,
60.
5.
We're talking 50s.
Yeah,
56.
60. 60.
We're talking
Right,
50s
66.
or 60s.
66.
Okay.
60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because now, how old were you when you got married?
Yeah, you have to ask my wife.
Yeah. So you only got me by 10 years. So if I was at Farragut in the middle 60s.
So
Mm-hmm.
he was there 56
middle
to
to-
60.
Yeah, middle 50s to, yeah. So that's about right. Mm-hmm.
He's been out
Wow.
there getting around 56.
60.
I mean,
50,
66.
59,
He came up-
60.
Did you know young lady went to Farragut named Walter Reed?
I can't really say I did. I was there from 65 to 69. I'm more visual, so if you could show me a picture of her, I could kind of place her. Because a lot of times we didn't know everybody's name,
Right.
and everybody didn't use their real name, so
Did you get the yearbook 69?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did.
That was the last one I think they did before I left.
Yeah, 67, 68,
There was
69, I got all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So y'all was at Farragut when, not you, but they were, when Blew It.
Ben Blewett,
When y'all
When
had us
Blew It-
beat in the semifinals in '67 at the amphitheater, Harlan High School.
where were
That's
you
my high
at?
school. I went
You
to
were at Harlan?
You were
I
right.
came
Oh.
out in '70, and they had us down 10 with 2 to go, and they didn't put the ball in the deep freeze. And all my friends at Northern that went to Farragut was like, blew it, Ben blew it.
Ben, man,
They blew that game. Farragut had the best
lived that
team.
down yet.
Farragut had the best team in the state that year.
We
Not
haven't-
the city, but the state.
We haven't lived that down yet.
Mm-hmm.
They still said, for the
Louis
ones that remember,
Johnson,
they'll
Ray
say Ben
Willis.
Blewett, which was the coach. And he didn't know how to break their press.
Well, all he had to
He
do
didn't
was
know how to break their
put
stall.
the ball in the deep freeze. Y'all was up 10 with 2 to go.
Yeah.
We was down 10
Yeah,
with 2 minutes to go,
yeah.
and they kept shooting the ball, and missing
All
at
they
that
do is
point.
slow down.
So we got back in it till in overtime, and we won. And then
Who
we
did
went
y'all
on.
have then?
Then we went on and beat DuSable for the city championship. We had Bart Henley, Freddie Shell, Isaac Rudd, Eric Rucker. We had a good team, but that wasn't even our best team.
Man,
Our
we-
best team was the 65-66 team. We was
Okay.
loaded.
okay.
But we had a coach like Ben Blewett. Couldn't coach.
Man, he never lived that down.
But
He
they
never
rewarded
lived
him
that
with some
down.
nice plum college coaching jobs after that. He coached University of Detroit.
Did he?
Then he coached Cornell University in the
Okay.
Ivy League.
Well, I didn't
Because
know
I had
that.
a friend that played for him at Cornell. One of my best friends
Oh
played for him
man,
at
did
Cornell.
they talk about that game?
But Blewett. He died in like '06, I think.
Did he?
Somewhere. Yeah, he's dead.
But we were known for basketball and football
But
and,
that-
and track.
I couldn't believe that we
And track.
pulled that game out because that was Farragut was loaded that year, man. It was loaded, but
Yeah, it had all the
He-
wear,
he-
had wear now.
he went to sleep on that game.
And
He
James
dominated the
Ware
game.
now.
He just
James
fell
Ware was
asleep.
running guard. He was one of the
Lewis
guards.
Johnson, Ray Willis, Richard Dye, y'all was loaded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, them some rough boys.
It was loaded, man.
Mm-hmm.
But the best player they had though was during that time was Terry Rice.
Terry Rice. Yeah,
Terry
he
Rice
was a
was
little
the
bit
best player.
sooner than, just a little bit sooner than them.
And he got killed trying to rob somebody with a toy gun, water gun. So he didn't have a real gun. He was sticking
Was he
somebody.
the one
That's
that
what they said.
followed the guy from the museum home?
I think so. You know,
Not from the museum.
his legend.
From the boat.
I think so.
You know.
His legend lives. He was such a great player.
Yeah, he was really good.
People talk about him. You know,
He was really
he
good.
was a legend.
So what was he doing trying to rob somebody?
That was after school. That was
After
after he
school.
got out.
He
and
was grown,
things
man.
weren't good, going well for him, and
Mm-hmm.
that was way after school.
Guys get caught up, man.
It was his other brother.
It's like Skip Dillard at DePaul trying to rob somebody with a butter knife.
yeah.
He had a butter knife. They weren't serious. They weren't criminals. You know, just trying to get some money. You know, scare somebody and it backfired on Terry. It cost him his life. What did you say? No.
It's another guy from that way. Did some crazy time. Because I used to see him when I was driving around working for the city. Dressed up in this big overcoat, summertime, 90 degrees.
Wow.
But he went to Marshall.
You went to Marshall?
Yeah.
No. Marshall had some exceptional athletes as well.
A lot of Jews went to Marshall.
Yeah.
Like when they won they were the first city team to win the state championship in '58.
58.
It was Jews over there then, and in '60, Jews were still there. They won it in '58 and '60 with George Wilson. And those
Then of
guys.
course they had Darryl Stingley. They had Darryl Stingley, and
That's
he
more
went
in
to the
our
pros.
era. That's in our era.
Yeah, he went to the
Because he
pros.
played at Purdue with Otis.
Right, exactly. They were roommates.
Right.
He went to the pros. He
They
played
killed
with,
us in the
who
Blue
did he play
Division
with?
championship in football. Stingley
New England. He
killed
was
us.
with New England. Mm-hmm.
That was in '68. They beat us. They beat
Mhm.
Harlan. Stingley ran wild. on
Oh
us.
yeah, he ran wild on a whole lot of people. You know,
He was running back in high school, but then he became a receiver in college and in the
switched him to
pros.
receiver.
Because he was small, I guess they switched him to running, to
Mhm.
wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Then he had that accident.
Jack Tatum.
Mm-hmm. Got paralyzed.
He's
on the
deceased
field.
now, Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to his homegoing.
Well, Marshall, you're right, they had exceptional
Mhm.
athletes.
West Side, period.
Yeah.
The West Side, period. Just
Well, in Chicago, period, but the West Side, they was loaded. The South Side, when you think of, like we was discussing up at school the other day, DuSable, one of the great games in Chicago Public High School basketball championship was that triple overtime game in '62 when DuSable lost to Marshall in triple overtime. Either 3 overtimes or 4 overtimes.
Wow.
And the DuSable people were so upset because, let's face it, they were cheating DuSable. Because Marshall was a white high school with a white coach. DuSable was a black high school. And they were getting the better calls from the referees. They were cheating DuSable. And the DuSable kids were so upset, they started whipping the police's ass after that game. And that's when the Chicago police started wearing the riot gear. Because of what the DuSable kids did to them after that game. After that, they started coming out in them blue helmets and shit. Because DuSable, man, they were livid after that game, man. They were livid. They were livid because
I've been running across all kind of history lately about DuSable and Phillips, Wendell Phillips.
because those are the only
Man.
black high schools.
That's what I found out.
Because all those high schools on the west side
Those
and
were
all
the-
the other high schools far south were white.
And
DuSable was black, Phillips was black, and Dunbar was black. The
And-
first
and-
Dunbar was at 45th and St. Lawrence, remember?
And the main reason is because we had migrated that far, so far going south. Black people weren't living
No.
to 63rd Street.
No, we weren't out far.
we were only what 39th Street or 47th
We
Street.
moved from the west
so
side.
all of the population went to those two schools.
We moved from the west side in '55, and my mom's in the same house on 94th and Wallace since '55. But blacks, well, like you said, they weren't out that far.
Right, right,
You know, before that,
right.
They just started finally trickling out that way.
And
But
if you
they
ever
were
go
right in Bronzeville, Black Metropolis.
right,
And DuSable came out of Phillips High School.
It did.
Phillips is first, and
it
then
did,
DuSable.
it did.
And Dunbar is
Same
the
building.
Dunbar on 31st and King Drive is the second Dunbar. People
Right.
don't realize that the first Dunbar was 45th and St. Lawrence, and became Forestville.
Right.
And King came out of Forestville. So two
Right.
high schools came out of Forestville.
Have you ever been to
Dunbar.
Phillips to see that Hall of Fame they got with those
that's
photographs
off the chain. I was there
all
last
around
summer.
that? Have you seen that?
That's off the chain.
Oh man, you gotta go see that. Cause I was wondering how did all of these notable people go to the same school?
Francis
it was the
Cress
only
Welsing,
it was the
she
only
went
school
there.
to go to. It wasn't a whole lot of schools that black people went to.
Nope.
Dinah Washington. They just named part of the street after Dinah Washington.
Well, look who came out of DuSable. We talked about that the other day up at school.
Man, the
Look at all the
history.
jazz musicians that came out of DuSable because of Captain Diet. Johnny Hartman,
Exactly.
Nat Cole, Dorothy Donegan, Gene Ammons, Johnny Griffin, Eddie Harris, Julian Priester. All of them came out of DuSable High School.
All because there was no other schools to go
And
to.
because of Captain
I didn't
Diet,
know that.
he put it on him in as far as music instruction.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He
put
was
it on.
he was the guru for
He was
that.
the guru, Captain Walter Diet.
Mm-hmm.
So the black rich history is those schools, man, because those are the
Mhm.
black high schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the beginning.
That's what I'm finding out.
Yeah, from the
I
beginning.
had no idea.
Yep.
And when they put them up on the Hall of Fame, they put their accomplishments and what they went on and did after school.
Right.
And then that's when you realize,
Ray
You
Nance
know,
was another one. From
that's
the
when you
South.
realize how great they ended up being, right here in Chicago.
Absolutely.
All walks of life came out of Chicago, South
Eddie
Side
Harris
and West Side.
Came out of that.
Who?
You said Eddie Harris.
He's from DuSable. Absolutely.
Nat King Cole.
What about Les McCann?
Phillips.
You know?
I don't know where Les McCann is from, but Eddie Harris, like I said, Gene Ammons, Jug, Johnny Griffin, the Little Giant, Nat King Cole,
Oh,
Dorothy
yeah.
Donegan, the great jazz
Phillips.
pianist.
Dinah Washington.
and
Phillips.
Johnny, you remember Johnny Hartman, the great Johnny Hartman?
Right. Johnny
He
Hartman.
kind of gets lost in the
Where
shuffle.
did he go?
DuSable.
DuSable.
He gets lost in the shuffle in that Billy Eckstein and Nat King Cole and Arthur Price stock era, but Johnny Hartman was off that chain.
Yeah,
man.
he sung those love
He
songs.
was off the chain.
He sung those love songs. I got one of his albums.
He's on that Lush Life album with Coltrane.
Okay.
He's the lead vocalist on that album. That's Johnny
Yeah.
Hartman.
Yeah, a lady gave me
DuSable's own.
some Johnny Hartman. He was one of her favorite artists. So she gave me. I said, "You giving this to
Dinah
me?"
Washington's from DuSable.
Yeah,
She's from there.
yeah. That's what I just said.
And like he said, Phillips,
Yeah,
Frances
Phillips,
Cress
man.
Welsing, she's from
Francis, yeah,
She's from
Chris
Phillips.
Wilson, the
Red
great
Fox.
psychologist. Yeah, all of them.
there. Buddy Young.
Oh man,
What about the Carters?
you go there and look
That's
and walk
Carter.
around that school
Ron
and look
Carter.
at those pictures. You it'll blow you away. There's so
the,
much history right here in
publisher.
Chicago.
Newspaper.
As opposed to
Musician.
now,
Oh, Ron Carter. They're not from Chicago.
They don't.
No.
They lived here,
Did they?
but they're not from.
Quincy Jones is from Chicago, 31st and Prairie. Then he moved to Seattle. Quincy's from here.
Right. Exactly. You saw that documentary he did back in the day, right?
Right,
That was pretty good.
right.
That was pretty good. Had a lot of history in it.
See, that area is where we had the policy going on.
Oh man.
Back then, the west side and the
Talk
south
about
side,
Talk about it.
they always talk about the split, but they was together back then. The west side, because remember, Roosevelt Road was, ran all the way there.
Right.
They got cut off because of the expressway, because they always put expressways and cut our communities off.
You remember this?
You got that
remember
book,
when
Kings? You
Yeah,
got Kings?
Yeah,
Man,
Kids.
it's right
You
there.
remember
If you ain't got
the
Kings,
story?
you
The
need to
lady
get
that
it.
was working for the guy,
Mhm.
the senator.
Got everything
what
in
was,
it.
something down
Got everything.
southern Illinois somewhere.
Right.
But he was, and she had found all this money in his closet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean he was money.
That boy that went to jail recently, Ike Carruthers, the alderman, his grandfather, Ike
He's in that
Sims,
book.
was a state rep. He
He's
was a
in the
policy guy.
He's in the book.
Yeah.
He's in that book,
He's in that book.
that we talking about. He's in the book,
You know
along
what
with
I'm
Big
saying?
Jim Marshall. These are West Side boys, and the South Side and the West Side, they was all together running that policy, man. And they was killing them.
Everybody. was
And the
getting
mob,
caught.
and nobody knew anything about it.
That's right.
Right.
I'm glad
During-
you know.
During the Depression
You
years,
need to
we
get that book
generated
and
between
read it.
$200 and $300 million playing nickel dime policy.
And not just in Chicago.
Right. But Chicago had the most unique
Right.
form of
Mhm.
policy.
Right.
We had the
Mhm.
most unique. You
And it worked for everybody.
I didn't realize that
It worked for everybody.
they were representing the heavyweight champion then, Joe Louis.
That's how
he
we-
was in their camp.
That's right.
He was
No
in
wonder
their
he
camp,
stayed
man.
clean. I was
That's
wondering
right.
why he stayed clean.
They
all
were
the time.
lawyers, they were accountants, they were businessmen, but then they could flip the switch and become gangsters if you mess with them.
But
would
they
take
weren't
no
gangsters.
stuff.
They
But
really weren't gangsters.
They weren't
then.
gangsters, but I'm just saying, if
They
you
were
mess
just
with them,
doing
they
business.
can flip the switch
Yeah.
and protect their turf,
Yeah.
their interests.
Exactly.
So it took 5 groups to take us out. It took the mob, judges, police officers, politicians to take us out, man. And we ran that from the turn of the century all the way up to the 50s. And as a matter of fact, Harold Washington, when he was in the state legislature, along with Louis H. Caldwell, another one of our frat brothers, they tried to get policy legalized. But the white boys said, hell no. We're removing all vestiges of that name. It's going to be the state lottery.
Everybody had somewhere to
But-
live.
That's-
Everybody had food in the ice box.
Man, we had an
You know?
economic engine. That was our economic engine. Like you said,
Didn't have to go downtown
if
to
your
buy
kids
nothing.
wanted to go to college, they
Everything
helped.
was on the south side up to 47th Street. You could get anything you wanted.
If your kids wanted to go to college, they helped you do that for you. If you needed seed money to open up a business, they helped you with that. And they financed the Negro Leagues. They sponsored the Negro Leagues. We had it going on, man. All this is before integration, y'all, by the way. Before the great ruse called integration. That ruse, that trick.
Get that book, Kings. It's all in.
King is
the
all
book.
in the book.
Then it was separate but equal.
That's what I support. That's my worldview. Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal. The hell with Brown versus the Board of Education. That's some garbage. They dropped the ball on that one. Thurgood, and I'm sorry, they dropped the ball on that one.
Well, Brother Nelson, I'm so glad that you stayed focused on what you were doing, because we wouldn't have this right now. And this is a wealth of culture that everybody needs to experience. Because if we don't know when we came in the door, when we go out, we will know. Just by what you've done right here.
You ever had any young people come through here?
Yeah.
Like school age? Like
Yeah.
what's the youngest age? Elementary school?
Yeah, and
High school?
high school, some of my high
Even
school.
some college
Yeah.
students? Even some college students, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it should be a contract with the CPS for all of them to come through here. You know,
Yeah.
those primary grades especially. They all need it. This could be a field trip for them. Like we used to go on field trips.
Yes, that's right.
This could be a field trip for them.
The group that I belong to, the collectors that I belong to, the group that's for rhythm, we have every year we have a tour. And so the bus, one of these, what do you call these buses that open?
Yeah, the trolley
Trolley
like buses.
bus.
Mm-hmm.
Come through. And each bus they have about 50, 60 people on it. So they'll come through and walk through and
Beautiful.
answer their questions and talk.
Beautiful.
Push them on a little bit because they be study coming. We
Beautiful.
have that going on.
That's all right.
And he would host these like family. It really was a family dinner thing that he would do during whatever the holiday was. We'd come through. I remember coming through. I was working with Ralph doing pictures, but I knew it was kind of late. But I came by and I saw all of these people and it was a bus. I remember that. It was a bus outside. But when I started to come in, and you could sense something different. I started coming up the stairs and I saw some people and I'm listening to some music and it was like they were dressed real formal, like a group. And he had Fisk University Choir
Yeah.
From
through the
Nashville,
house.
Tennessee.
And I mean, they were like lined in and was jamming. I'm like, just the food and the
Right.
just the energy of it to have
All
people
right.
it was just a joyful thing. I was like, I couldn't do nothing but just suck it up and say, man,
Hey, well, this
That's
place,
awesome.
this place
We had that every
deserves all of that.
every year.
yeah,
Fisk.
Well, beautiful. That's beautiful. Because it definitely needs to be shared, People need to see it. They need to see it. They need to come through.
My wife would take off that Thursday, and she'll start cooking and cook up till some of the people would be coming in.
hmm
But that was some good times.
yeah. And it was just funny to see the interaction. It was just a great, cause it'd be a lot of sports games or something on,
Right.
and it would always be some, I guess, a younger couple of guys that would want to come back and hang, cause a lot of women would be in one area, and then the brothers, they would be in there listening to the game, different stuff, and always be somebody want to come back there and talk. And I used to just listen to Nelson. There'd be, man, you don't want to go back up in there, man. But he couldn't tell him. Next thing you know, some argument then broke out where they something he didn't agree with, that was it was related more to the she than the he stuff, and he trying to understand, and it would be hilarious.
I know you come back and sleep in this room, don't you? Meditate, lay down on the couch.
Well, the wife do a lot of sleeping in this room.
Okay.
Yeah. I go in there with
Got the flat screen back here, so.
Right,
Again,
that's what she,
Mhm.
that's what she like.
Okay.
Oh, and you gotta see the
Exactly
cereal
what she like.
boxes. Oh man, you gotta see them. Cause he feel
Interesting. Just the cover. You don't even have to turn the page.
Confessions of a Negro Preacher. There you go. Check it out.
But I know he collected like the cereal boxes that he never opened.
Probably
And
the
just-
only one left in the world.
What, you probably got 3 of each or something, 3 or 4 of each box. It was just, I'm like, man, I be wanting to eat
Who's the
some
black-
Wheaties
who's
too,
the first black
man.
athlete on the Wheaties box.
First,
Jesse Owens.
no, I don't know if it's
I don't think it was Jesse Owens. No.
no,
Jesse Owens.
no, wasn't him.
Whoever it is, he got.
I think it was Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
A book called
MJ.
Yeah.
a book called Heroes Without a Country, and it's about Jesse Owens and Joe Louis. And it talks about what they had to go through in their greatness, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And like you said, if it wasn't for the Kings hanging on to Joe Louis, because they kept him straight.
But check these boxes. He got.
But he went over there and won 4 gold medals and came back here and couldn't get a
That's the
job.
Ernie Barnes piece.
I'm real late.
Oh no, man, I gotta get you out of here.
I wanted to show you this.
I see this picture everywhere I go.
That's Dio right there.
Yeah.
Who is that?
That's Ernie Barnes.
Yeah.
I don't know who them people are, but that's one of the alderman people. That's actually one of his pictures.
There's
Dio.
Thompson Duke right there.
Where I got these from, I got them from, wherever I got them from.
Louis Armstrong, greatest jazz musician yet.
Bibbs. And that's that other Bill Ross piece. Right?
Yeah.
Duke Ellington never wrote nothing down, huh?
Who do?
He's got thousands of compositions. So. Films, they got preserved in
He didn't want nobody to
thousands
steal
of
his music.
And that's how, yeah.
Oh wow.
That's my,
Oh wow, that's your stash.
yeah.
All them albums. Bet you all them tubs are full.
And all the tubs before.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, well done.
yeah, I know they is.
Pull one out. At random. Let me see what you got.
Another one,
Take you all the way
Woodrow.
back, whatever it is.
Okay. need to sit down.
Take you all the way back. Just hold that one up.
Let's see
Just
that.
hold that one up.
Who was that?
Chuck.
Cannonball?
Chuck Mangione.
Don't you remember Matt Jones?
Yeah,
Mhm, I
Chuck
remember.
Mangione.
I remember.
But he's no Clifford Brown and no
Is that Roberta
no
Flack?
Lee Morgan or nothing like that.
Is that
He
Roberta
okay.
Flack?
That's Hathaway, yeah.
You got Donny Hathaway.
Yeah,
Roberta
Donny
Flack.
Hathaway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I
You got
had
some
that one.
vinyl up in here.
I still have.
All right.
I had that one too.
Wow.
Now this came from the day
I remember Roy Hamilton.
when I hung out with my uncle.
Soft and warm, Roy Hamilton.
Man, history, culture.
Vinyl's coming back because the
History,
Europeans don't
culture.
like the CD. They want the vinyl.
Exactly.
History.
And there's a lot selling out there.
Because the vinyl maintains the life force. The CD robs it of that. Man. You can't hear it.
Plus it's more expensive, right?
Right. There's another Woodrow over there.
Mhm.
There's Woodrow. Like there, look at that one, Calvin. Look at Woodrow over there. Look at that Woodrow piece.
Oh yeah, you can tell by the lips.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. They look so alive. When I first saw his pieces, the way he had them set up on Washington Park, you could swear they was moving.
Yeah.
I had this piece.
You could swear.
This is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that from the wood shop on when he was out south on 95th on 90 something.
Somebody donated it to us for art sale.
Oh,
A doctor in Richmond, California donated it to us.
Oh yeah.
Catch your own
I have it in my
Museum.
kitchen right now.
museum, store, whichever one you want to call it. Could be a museum or it could be a store.
And I mean, he collects like the plates and just, it's just, man.
Oh yeah, I see he keeps the table set. That's a good thing.
This is the white thing. Here she keeps the table set.
Oh, that's
down.
great. That's great.
And I started collecting the plates and stuff.
Mm.
That's
It's Norman Rockwell piece. Yeah.
Norman Rockwell piece.
Okay.
And somebody asked me, well, why you got this? Why you got it in here? I said, that was the first somebody I saw put a wax on the cover of advertising. It
Oh,
was coming up.
okay.
Back in the, what the year, in the 70s, late 70s.
Mm.
When he was putting them on the Saturday Evening Post. Was it
Saturday
Saturday Evening Post?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Norman Mailer.
he would put them on.
Okay.
It's a little different, huh? This is it.
Ornette Coleman. Mr. Avant-Garde. I done misplaced my glasses up in here. No.
Yeah.
And then he's got some nice, like the ivory pieces.
Man. Truly a museum. What is this piece down here?
Yeah.
Golly.
This was it went with another piece, I think. I don't know what happened to that.
It's a little different.
But
And you know what that piece tells
Yeah.
me there? That cornrows
Somebody ate the fruit.
have not just started.
oh yeah.
Cornrows have not
My
just
kitchen's
started.
so many.
Is that
When I
the
went to
harvest?
Ghana and I was in Egypt.
One of those
I
nights.
went to the museum and we saw all kind of hair designs. So
Exactly.
braids
They've been
and
doing.
cornrows, and we have always used
Right.
those hairstyles. They haven't just started. So we're, in that respect, we're more so coming back to ourselves in some of the hairstyles. So maybe we'll come back all the way back to ourselves one day.
Yeah.
Because things go in cycles, right?
It should.
It should.
Yeah.
I hope it sure come back.
You're right.
I hope we make that full turn back to the divine.
We never let the
Right.
Yeah,
We only think we did.
yeah, you're right. We were distracted, I would call it. Distracted.
That's what I call the weapons of mass distraction. That's what we're dealing with today.
Yeah, we were distracted. If I can remember it, we haven't lost it.
Weapons of mass distraction. Michael Beckwith says it all the time.
Here go Jimmy when he did his blues. Here go Jimi Hendrix when he was doing his blues.
One, I got a Jimmy. One of them he's doing, and he do,
I got a chance to get backstage with her when she fired in July.
Incredible.
Yeah, they let us, a few of us come backstage and take pictures with them. It was a pretty nice experience. They were out at Ravinia. And for my birthday, I was treated for my birthday. But I didn't know I was gonna get backstage to be photographed with them.
Real, treated real well, man.
That was all right. This wood is so valuable. I wonder what they're doing out here outside on that one. Are they doing shooting dice? They ain't shooting no dice, is it?
Dio, I got this picture for, what, $5 or something, somewhere.
you?
A little less than that.
Let me get a little closer so I can see what they're doing.
And when Dio came through, I asked him about the Dio, you got to explain this picture to me.
Oh, they feeding their rooster. It's a rooster down there.
So he told me, he said, that's a
Sacrificial.
sacrificial thing they do.
Ceremony.
Exactly. He told me, he said, and I had to sit on the floor. He said, take it off the floor.
Okay.
Take it off the floor. Don't leave it on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, hey, all right.
Yeah, they got a rooster down there. You're heavy into the mat.
Moors over here.
But check his
And I have to get my hair on.
It's China.
his cereal, all them cereal boxes. Then he's got all of the black little things, you know, that you would keep in the kitchen.
Cornflakes.
Thank God I didn't go to church today.
Yep.
These figurines over here.
And a lot of them ivory pieces, he got some nice ivory. That one down there.
Oh, baby, short. Always been sports enthusiast? Yeah. You ever seen anybody like Magic, like Michael before?
Yeah. Michael's
Oh, mammy.
Martin Buchanan.
Just like Walter Payton.
Hey, right.
Jackie Robinson. Neon Dion. Just got his record broke the other night. Oh, these are different here.
That's the Jordan.
Oh wow. These
So he stayed on the Wheaties box. Jordan. Well, he was the marketing chip. He was the marketing chip of this century. He brought in billions of dollars for corporate America, so
he couldn't help
they
it.
used him like that.
He was just being
Well, we've
himself.
always had
Just being himself.
great
He
players.
couldn't even- He didn't even
Benefited
know
from a
it.
lot of the hype. You know,
But even all these
Dr. J
little,
was before Michael.
Yeah.
Elgin Baylor
Yeah,
was before him.
With Michael,
Connie
Michael
Hawkins.
took it to another level though.
He embellished what the doctor had started, because doctor did stuff nobody did in his day. But he didn't have the benefit of the TV coverage because he played in
He
ABA.
rescued the league, actually, really. He saved
some
basketball.
nice players.
Julius
When the
did stuff.
ABA was going out of pocket, then they merged
Right, he was the first
And
marketing
he-
chip, but
He
then
kept it going. He kept the lead going.
and then Magic and Bird came, and that's when it hit full stride with the marketing, and then Michael took it to the
Right.
next level.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Now, where did you find those at?
Those.
wow, look at this piece here.
Yeah, I was saying that he's heavy into the mass.
I got a lot of masks.
White
too.
wire.
Do you?
I know about this white dude I work with
Mm-hmm.
that get them those, and then he bring in the what is that?
Old mammy short.
He bring in the what you call it, these the plates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he
That's
got
man,
these
you got-
boxes in
The
in
one with
closet. Got Muhammad Ali.
let me show you.
I mean, you got to.
Did Arthur Ashe
It's
ever make
just-
the Wheaties box?
You know, I've had.
Arthur Ashe.
I can't
Did
remember.
he ever make a Wheaties box? See, Gabby made it.
I can't find the rest of this shit. I just don't want to move it over.
Mm-hmm.
My son on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember
Tuskegee Airmen.
he had this picture.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah. He had a picture, and it was, oh man, this picture was just, oh, it was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was of a child, kind of like in a kneeling, on his knees, head down. You could tell it's like in Africa, in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And standing up over him, looking at him, was a vulture.
Hmm.
Right.
And it looked like he's just
Still
waiting.
got that one?
My wife.
Oh man,
My
it
wife
was
Nelson.
it was painful. It was
Mm.
it made you want to just go and cut the.
Look that up and keeping that picture. She said you had to get me.
Oh man, it was powerful though.
Yeah, it was.
It was powerful,
something.
man.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Oh,
I would love to see that.
I mean, it
That
was
was
intense.
quite an imagination, but it's real.
Yeah, and it looked like a real
It's
photograph to me. Like it was somebody actually took that picture.
Yeah. It
'Cause-
was like.
yeah.
It was like. I
You're
mean,
kidding.
Yes.
How would they take that kind of picture, though?
Geez. The
Times-
same way they go down there and do the
You know?
you see the children, give
Oh, yeah.
to the children.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
this is capturing his
Yeah.
life instead of trying to help the child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. Track Moscow game 1980.
Right.
Wow.
That's a deep play there too.
Yeah. That's when it was boycotting that Olympics that year.
Mm-hmm.
The wife went and found that somewhere she was at and saw the plate, recognized it, so she said, "Take this."
Mm-hmm.
This was sold in Marshallfield stores. They were selling these plates back in the day.
Mm.
You know.
Nowlands. I'm from Nowlands.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they say it down there.
Nolans.
Nowlands. N-A-W-L-I-N-S. They don't say New Orleans. They say Nowlands. I'm from Nowlands. I like the way they talk. I'm from Nowlands.
Ain't your mama. Oh, wow.
Who that? Who that? I ain't the mama. I got a little one that tune look at the Geechee. I'm from Nowlands.
Who that?
We say New Orleans. They be like New Orleans. Nowlands.
Mm-hmm. Just run it all together. Now where the gumbo at?
Hey, little mama.
Yeah.
All her chillings.
See.
Every last one of them.
And all of those were part of the collectible stuff. You didn't miss none of them.
You ever seen Spike Lee's movie Bamboozled?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a wild one. They got mad at him for making that movie.
I like that movie
That
still.
movie was a great movie.
It was quite insightful.
Gumbo, red
He
beans,
didn't
and
like
rice,
Spike making that one.
jambalaya, stuffed eggplant,
Exposing them.
fresh
like that.
oysters, shrimp, crayfish.
Yeah, this for you. That's Phil Coran. I got one left. That's the PBS documentary from May. I can get some more copies burned for other people if y'all would like to have one.
Yeah, I
Sid
would
has
love
seen,
one.
Sid has seen it already.
I would love one.
I'd love to see it too.
So I'll burn
Phil
send it
is,
to you.
ooh,
So
that's some history.
they actually dealt with the truth. He was surprised, but Phil has been outspoken about the Jews for 50 years. So, but they were compelled to tell the truth because he's been blowing up all around the
Where
world.
was that shown at?
Well, it's a documentary on him and his sons. So they're covering the sons and some of their European trips in Amsterdam
Oh, okay.
and Barcelona.
Okay.
And Phil is here in Chicago.
So it was done very recently.
Right, it was done in May.
Yeah.
It just came
Oh,
out. It came
this
out.
year.
It came out in May.
Oh yeah.
It was
I'd
shown
love
on
to have a copy of
PBS Independent Lens in May.
that. Okay.
On Channel
You
11.
know, some of because I was just watching a whole series of them. They did the one in Warsaw.
Mm-hmm. They be showing
Nice.
some serious stuff.
Yeah,
Independent lens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Independent Lens. So it's powerful.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I gotta have one of those.
Yeah.
I love me some Phil Corain.
And yeah, just the music. If you hear his son, hear Hypnotic Brass.
Oh yeah. I got
them
some of their
guys,
stuff.
Yeah,
I
man.
used to get those boys up.
I got some of their stuff.
I've been knowing them since they was like that. I used to get them up at 5 o'clock in the morning for 8 straight years and put that music on them. You put it on them, man.
It paid off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to show you that the only thing
Literally.
they have is out here.
Yeah, right.
And if
Yeah.
you put something on them when you got them down here, they could take it to places you would never
That's
imagine.
Yeah.
where you gotta catch them at too.
And that's
That's where you gotta
because that's
catch
all
'em
we
at.
got. We
Yeah.
ain't got no money.
And
You
one
got
of
your
one of the
Put
documentaries
something
on
on.
one of them pieces, it was a white guy come along and seen him, and just because they was out on the street, he think they out there hustling. He's like, man, I could do this and let me document y'all and that may get you some gigs. He said, oh man, what you can do, he said, what you can do for us is just buy some music, man.
Right.
We can get our own gigs.
Right.
Shoot for that.
See, they've been
Yeah.
well
He didn't know.
schooled by him because Phil was such
This was
a
on the floor.
yeah.
So I don't know if you wanna.
Phil
Clean it
Phil
before
refused
you-
to go into the music industry.
Hmm.
He signed contracts.
Because he knew.
Because see, Saif, one of his sons, made a mistake, and he said he was going to talk to him about it. In the piece, Saif said, well, my dad didn't care about money. Phil said, no, that's wrong. I like money as much as anybody else. I don't like the control that comes with the money. So he always resisted that. He didn't have anything against money and making money. It's just that they try to control you.
They own you.
And he said, these people are not eligible, they're not qualified, they can't play on the level that I play on. Now he tells us stories about when Leonard Chess, you remember when Leonard Chess was walking around with vinyl trying to get you, the great jazz musician, the great black musician, to make a record. And they looked at him like he was a joke. Ain't nobody trying to make no record, because they making their money doing live performances. So why is the guy walking around trying to get you to make a record? Because he can become the middleman and exploit your music.
What they did.
And
Yeah.
exploit you because it's the seller of the music, not the creator of the music, that's making all the money.
Yeah.
Now, how backwards is that? How is the seller making all the money and the creator of the music is not making but a few coins?
When you saw Cadillac, you saw that.
Right.
Yeah.
Then he tells us the story about
The movie
Downbeat
Cadillac.
Magazine.
Mhm.
Downbeat Magazine raced the great, the number one jazz. They said, who the hell are these people talking about? Because we already know who the bad cats are. That's what the brothers, idea back then. We already know who the bad. We don't need you to tell us. So they let it ride, and after a while, that become a staple. Downbeat. These people writing who's the great jazz musician,
Yeah.
number one jazz musician. Yeah, they already knew that. They laughed at those people when they come out talking about Downbeat Magazine. Who's the number one? They knew Fletcher Henderson was the number one guy, and Benny Goodman was a straight copycat of Fletcher Henderson.
The story of Barry Gordy is pretty much the same too. He adopted that philosophy. Get the artist in, sell the music, take the money, pay them trinkets.
Right? He started acting like them.
Yeah.
And that's why you run into them guys like Galib Galab, Frank McComb, who they do their own stuff.
Right.
Get their go pray to get their own
That's
stuff.
why you have
They
to.
Print it
figured
up.
it out. They
That's
figured
why
it
you have
out.
to have so much respect
Do their
for
own
Ray Charles. He's a
concerts.
blind man that had enough sense to say, I want to. Remember the scene in the movie?
Wanna own
Ray,
my own
when
master?
When he was
Right.
switching
Right?
record labels, he said, I want to own my masters. And publishing rights.
And a part of-
Turned
yeah.
blue in the face.
Yeah.
Say, what did you say?
Turned blue.
James Brown did the
That's
same
why-
thing.
That's why they killed Sam Cooke, though. Because Sam Cooke was trying to hit people to the game. He said, just don't be a performance artist. This is a business, man. Own your publishing, own your masters. Because
He
if
was
you
already
don't, you're
producing
just a
other
slave.
people. He was already producing other artists.
So they took him out, man, because they didn't want that. So they took Sam Cooke out.
James
You know,
Brown was.
talking about he died in the brothel. They said that man had knots from the top of his head to
Yeah.
the bottom of his feet.
Yeah.
They beat the snot out of Sam Cooke. Then this, you saw the documentary. Then the lady in talking about, well, he can't. She got on dark shades at the press conference, lying. Well, you got to take them shades off. So Talking about, he came in there. He was half naked and he was acting crazy. Shut up. You know, they done told, put a gun, you bet this is the story you better tell. You know? And she went up there and told her lie. You know, 'cause Sam Cooke, he was
Oh,
off
yeah.
the chain, man.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was an awesome dude, man.
Oh yeah.
He was awesome
Writer,
all the way
producer,
down.
arranger,
Brilliant. What was the name of that
CEO?
gospel group he sang with before he
Soul Stirrers,
before he went secular?
the Soul Stirrers.
Off the chain.
Him and Johnny Taylor was in that group.
Mm-hmm.
They sang gospel together. The Soul Stirrers. He was lead singer at 19 years old.
And that dude, man, he was brilliant.
They got a beautiful
I was cracking up.
DVD out on that.
Aretha
Gotta
sitting up
see
there
it.
talking on the documentary of how they almost did something, but her father,
Yeah,
her father
yeah,
showed up.
yeah. So you saw it then.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was like she was. He was calling for her. She didn't say a word. She's in Sam Cooke's room.
Yeah. Yeah, Lou Rawls. You know, Lou Rawls was in the. He was in that group too.
Right, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sam, you know, you figure he was from 57 to 65. That's when he was great, but he was gone like a light after that.
Yeah.
After 8 years, they took him on out of here because they can't be having Negroes walking off the plantation like that, man. You know, that's their worldview.
So,
Sam was a very dangerous man to them.
so this is the thing, Lyle. So you kind of see kind of what we working with. And when I talked to Jane, when I talked to Brunson, he was saying, you know, really, you could probably get enough to do a series. You know, that you're not going to be able to walk it, you know, to really capture just in one hit.
Well,
So-
I think having somewhat of a knowledge
That's
of
right.
some of the
That's
material,
what those others
Right.
come
because
from.
you
Still doing
then
it.
you can know what to ask. You can know what to
Right.
bring out of what you see.
Which is kind of why I want to, and how to best move around and capture the essence. And so he's got the stories
Right.
and the way even that you were doing some of the stuff to bring him
Yeah.
through, but you know, you almost want him to
so much money. When he was in college.
be able to keep that flow,
Right.
to keep the flow going.
Right.
And so that,
Right.
cause it's really more so
You
those,
want to tell a story.
right, and what I thought was really helpful was that he got some pieces, but the story behind how it came to us
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
And they never got
powerful,
That's what
and
I
then
was
the
trying to
piece was
bring out.
powerful, yeah. So I'm like, oh man. So, and I know they've done some stuff. I've seen how PBS have done some stuff. They really have run some stuff of concerts, and then they have these people on there, and they run a thing almost. It seemed like they just run it almost all day. Well, it'd be what, 3-4 hours worth of stuff.
I'm gonna have to start back watching PBS.
Yeah.
I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, but they've done some nice stuff. But I think the stuff that
You know you were an alpha before you came?
the stuff we could get done, man, I think it's just real transcending. and to really do it, you know, to take the time. I could see really, man, like an area like this is you could see how that
22 years.
would come across. So
We've
that's
been talking.
that ain't no big deal.
Phone, you know.
And
All depends on how you want it to come off.
right, and to be able to really bring in
Down to see him this summer,
conversations,
Saturday,
get the,
July.
you know,
Spend
with some
time,
depth of
they
field,
met his sister
stuff
and
to
my
it.
aunt, who I'd never seen before.
You
A
could
few
do it.
lights in certain areas, like I think
Talk about
here,
Austin.
cause I got some
Austin was
lights,
so
man. I got
awesome.
some.
Back in the day, it was
I got some of the
Austin was
hot
city's state capital,
lights
like the black
with
church
the
in
Holgren,
town.
and I got some
Them
soft
blacks were
boxes.
upwardly
Yeah.
mobile
So, and I think the
Okay.
soft
They had
boxes would
money.
be sufficient.
So
It just, but I like the hard light too. I like the
Okay.
own business.
some of that, but just to keep it
What's that great trumpet player?
lit
jazz
and to
trumpet,
bring it
King Kong.
in,
You ever heard
you
of him?
know, bring it in. I think a 2 camera
Train Lane, the great football player.
and definitely some steels. Got to do some steels.
And, you know, they
Yeah.
they had
Yeah, it
they had
could-
their own
it
thing.
could
Just like
be
Tom
So
Ford.
Just
and
have
then the post production stuff
Now
is what I think is going to be the challenge.
Yeah, it is. It's
How to
always
what
a
to
challenge.
what to leave out, what to keep in, how to make it flow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is always the challenge.
now I know this brother named Calvin Muhammad that could probably make that, could simplify
yeah.
that.
Yeah, we would all have to sit down and go through the scenes.
Right, and that's what we want to do. We
You
want
wanna
to pick
what
another
scene you
day,
want and what scene you
and
don't
hopefully we
want.
won't keep you up this late. Man.
You gotta
Well,
go
it
through
ain't
the-
late though.
You
It's
got to
fine.
go through the editing process.
You gotta go through
You gotta
What
edit
is
it.
it?
gotta go through
It's
the whole
almost 9
thing,
o'clock.
Decide
So,
on what scene you want to keep. You know.
So I'm thinking about if we
Edit it
can
out.
if we can keep in mind to maybe do a Thursday. This Thursday, I'll tell Brunson. Is that gonna work?
This Thursday I'm tied up.
Okay, you tied up. Man.
This Thursday I'll be tied up.
So we
Me and
need
my
to
son
pull.
got a project. We gotta
Okay,
do.
what else you got going next week?
Oh, man,
Yeah,
I'm retired. I don't know
me
what
too, man. I don't know. Calvin, what's the problem?
So
oh,
we're-
that's right.
so-
You
so-
helping your
oh,
son
I'm
out. You helping your
Oh,
son.
yeah, this
He-
Thursday,
He helping
yeah.
his son out.
Right.
Okay.
Next
So-
next week I'll have some
Whatever y'all
time.
want to do.
Yeah.
man.
If it would have
So-
been, if it would have been
Like a
no last
Dio piece
Thursday, I was
there.
busy
It
too.
is.
So
This one?
Yeah.
Play.
Dio.
So keep in mind. So when you know when you spending some time around, cause Dwight is excellent, historian person, but at the same now you know he played ball too, and Nelson used to play ball.
Before these hip replacements.
Right. I mean, quick, and he just had a with left hand.
I still play. I'm 62.
Yeah.
I still play.
Yeah, and Dwight,
I
he's
play in the 50 and over league.
Oh,
Sweet
man.
Charlie Brown. Ever heard of him from DeSable Heights? He runs the league at Washington Park every March.
yeah,
50 and over league. you
sweet
know.
Charlie Brown.
and when he was down in Northern, he was playing with them.
Invited on
guys.
over there. Check
Yeah.
that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta. He gonna have to get us some of them herbs and stuff, man. Get us some of them
Sweet Charlie
indigenous
Brown
seeds.
still
Got some
around?
herbs and
I didn't know
indigenous
Sweet
seeds,
Charlie
man.
Brown was still around.
Yeah, Sweet Charlie Brown
Golly.
was about 77. He's still around.
Oh, what a blessing.
Yep. I think he's maybe the last guy left living from the 54 team and went downstate. They were the first public league team to go downstate, but
to go
they went down
downstate.
there and got cheated and lost.
Yeah.
So, so something next week then.
So we're into next week. Evidently.
Between what Monday, Thursday, between Monday and Thursday, somewhere in there.
Let's see.
Or
next
Monday,
week.
Tuesday.
Next week.
Maybe.
Tyrone.
Oh, that's Tyrone
I'm gonna have
Marshall.
to look at my calendar,
Okay.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
See, that's Tyrone.
So he gonna look.
That's okay. That's how he looks. Okay. He looks fuller. He's not as slender as he used to be. Okay.
That's
Well, that-
And his
the guy went
hair
to college with us.
Oh.
Yeah, and his hair
and
is
the gray. You get some grays in there.
like more like Tyrone Davis.
Everybody did I know I didn't transform. And I'm starting to look like my father.
He
You
looked
know.
like Tyrone Davis more so than Tyrone
Yeah.
Marshall. Tyrone
My father
Marshall.
was a lot slimmer though than I was.
Tyrone Davis. He can sing a little bit. West Side.
And Calvin did the Calvin interviewed my father.
Oh yeah.
And how many days did it take to do that? What we did 2 or 3?
Not that many. I think it was 2 days.
Oh, was he 90 at the time?
all, you
Was
know.
he
Man, he was like
If it took 2
95.
95.
but he was hilarious. But he was a good. He gave us some good history. Kept a lot of pictures, and he was funny.
I never
Man.
got a ticket. I just never parked where you was supposed to park.
Can you put your hand on that stuff right now? Can you put your hand on that
Man.
tape
I
right
never
now?
got no
Yeah.
citation.
I put it on DVD.
Yeah.
I need to see that.
Make some
one.
copies of it, so you know,
Yeah,
pass them around.
and I did. I,
So you'll
I
always
gave
have
him.
more
copies?
I
So
can
you'll
get you a
always
copy.
have
He
it, you
was
know.
man. He gave
I
a
got
good
a
history.
nonprofit. We need
Give me a copy.
And
man.
I did some stuff with my grandmother, man. Couldn't, but the camera, you know, we had an old, and the tape did it on VHS tape. I mean, when the camera held the VHS tape in it, that kind of stuff,
That
man.
one I
And it
saw.
just,
You talking about the one on the bench?
you know, I got a partial thing of it,
That's
and I
the
remember
headshot.
having it before, was playing it, and must have left it in there, in the recorder.
Somebody on the East Coast
And
bought it.
somebody came along
Let me take it to,
and taped over it some soap opera.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm like, God.
That happens. Yeah.
So I only got a partial thing of her when we first
Yeah,
set it up to
International
do.
News Conference.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that's so priceless if you have it, you know. It's so priceless if you
So
have
I
it.
ain't gonna let my
Make
father
it, put
stop.
it in different formats now, and make copies and pass it around so somebody will always have it.
Yeah, and I still got the tapes. I got the
I always
tapes.
remember Mr. Murphy had that booming voice.
Pass it around.
Booming
So
voice.
you'll always have it.
And he's always a businessman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Always had
yeah.
something going.
Oh,
And really, for the most part, all of the men during that time, they just had that.
Right.
It was just like, man, these
They
guys.
They
yeah.
were men. We
Yeah.
got a bunch of males now. We
Yeah,
don't have men like
Your
we used
dad had
to.
a work ethic.
A bunch of males.
Oh, he
They
was
were-
he would
they were
hustle
men.
to no end.
Like my grandfather, he was a man.
And my dad
He
did
didn't take
too.
nothing
Yeah,
off no
yeah.
crackers in Texas.
Back in those
He had
days,
sugar
you know,
crack.
the men had work
That's
ethic.
right. I remember who was that? Dangerfield too,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's-
Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go to Bayou?
All of them.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
went to
Everybody on that
Salvador. That's
end
my spot, Salvador.
basically
I
had a
don't
work
hang out in
ethic.
Yeah.
Rio. I hang out in Salvador.
This is Salvador.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Check you out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll look at my schedule and
Yeah,
I'll
look
see.
at your schedule.
I'll see what I
Take.
got coming up next week. I know
Yeah, but-
Cause the biggest thing I want to get
I got another dentist appointment on the 1st. I do know
Okay.
that. That's
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, you can't miss that.
That's next Tuesday. When
Yeah.
is the 1st? Next
7,
Tuesday
no, 9.
But I want to get
or Wednesday.
I want to be able to just let James know in time so he can come in from DeKalb,
Women so
And,
fine, make you dizzy, man.
Going.
and then we'll do the storyboard. We'll
There
do
was
the
a country for lovers.
put together
They're not ashamed of their
the how we
bodies.
want
Like a
to.
script.
Yeah, script.
It's a country
Well,
for
maybe
lovers.
we should try to set that up before we do the next piece, if you want to.
And that's how I want to do it. Yeah, before cause we don't want to. I don't want
Sitting
to
around in the
try to
water.
move us around when it's cold.
What happened? What
You know
happened?
what I mean?
Yeah.
It just keep
So
going.
you want to? We just have to decide on how we're going to do it. It doesn't take
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole lot of.
That's mine. Them my people down there,
pre-production.
man.
Right.
Salvador.
But we do want to tell a story. So
Right.
you know, you
And
gotta,
that's the biggest
you
thing.
gotta know where you're going to start and where you're going to end. You got to tell a story about Mr.
Portuguese,
Nelson.
though.
We
Right.
got to start at the beginning.
I got the Rosetta
We got-
Then we have to work our way through the
Oh, God.
intermediate, the middle, and then we have to end it.
Get
So
it
we have to
back.
tell a story about your life. That's how it has to be done.
Right.
Oh yeah. You got.
So we have to ask the right questions. You know, not to pry,
Where'd you
but
stay?
we have to ask the right questions
Okay, where'd you
so that we
stay?
can get what we want.
Hotel.
What you think you
A
want
hotel
us
in
to
Bahia.
know. You know,
I rented
what
an
actually
apartment
happened.
in
you know.
Rio.
And don't leave out the spiritual aspect of
I
that
went with a
guided
group.
you for all of
I
this.
did too.
You know,
16
that's
times.
more. We want to know that more
To,
important than
Bahia.
anything, because you were guided
But I-
to do this.
We only
You
spent a
didn't just
couple
do it
days
on
in
your
Rio de
own.
Janeiro, but most
You
of
were
the trip
guided
was
to
in
do what you
Salvador.
did.
I like Rio too.
So we want to hear a little bit about that. You don't
Yeah.
have to tell us everything, but you know, we want to know that.
And just it's all good and entertaining, and it really says something about
It's like Chicago, New
where
York,
he
so they
grew
got
up.
some of the same dynamics.
and who he
Beaches. That's incredible.
But he told us
who
a
he
little bit
got a
about
lot of his stuff from. You talked about your grandfather.
Granddad. Yeah, he
And,
touched on
uh,
granddad. So it's a lot right there.
Yeah.
It's a lot right there in Granddad.
And then just in the way that you did
Don't look
things.
real.
You didn't
And
just,
it's in the midst.
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that other people were doing.
Right.
And you yourself, you were on a
You
different,
speak a little English.
Right.
a different level.
In your approach.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he
that
was
work
guided.
ethic that he had, yeah.
He was guided. He was
I think you were
inspired.
gonna-
Because who
Ghana.
cuts out from work and just
that's what I
to
want
go
the
and
rainforest
get some
in
art,
Brazil.
then come on
But-
back.
You get
You
your
know,
rainforest in Ghana,
But it
or
was
Brazil.
all purposeful and
yeah.
and
He was
uh,
guided. He was
Right.
guided.
and I just remember because a lot of the stuff he would do with the even when you was doing the jewelry pieces and the different things he took time out to do, but then he was so organized
Castle.
till it was just
Guided.
I was like okay, I really missed something here because I don't have that kind of
He
my
was guided.
organization skills. I like I'm a
Mr.
real
Nelson.
slob. Jesus.
May I ask you, what is your birthday, sir?
September the 8th,
Virgo.
Oh boy. What year?
Into science.
42.
1940.
Well, I got a story I could tell you about him. He lives in Zimbabwe.
Lets us
Lived in
know a little
Zimbabwe.
something.
You just
Yeah.
made 72 then.
Just had a birthday. Happy belated birthday. Happy birthday.
And that's how he's come.
Wow. 73? You said 70?
2002.
You've been doing your advocacy, right?
Beautiful.
Advocacy.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful
You know,
Doing
thing.
that when you're in Brazil?
Yeah, well, to see the way he did it, he was guided to do it. that way.
Actually,
And that's how
the
right.
conference
That's
on the
and like that's what Brunson said. Brunson said, "Man, this is
The first one I went to was
spiritual.
in South Africa.
Yeah, this ain't
And that one was on
this ain't just
one.
something done. This is there's more to it than that."
No doubt about it.
And
Absolutely.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Ghana,
Yeah.
huh?
Because
That's
that's what I'm
what
saying.
I'm
This is
Barcelona,
Spain.
Spain.
Mhm.
That's where Phil's boys performed, and they
Singing.
never sat down during the concert. They said they never had a concert like that. That's a nice piece there.
Mhm.
There's some sort of fertility god.
That's just
okay, we ready, man.
You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Look at that
Buddy
piece.
named Tutani.
Maurice is like 3 hours out of his office schedule.
Mhm.
Who made
Man,
this
I
piece?
feel terrible,
Sometimes.
man.
You made it? That's your buddy?
Yeah, you just kidnapped us.
No, I was glad
Just
I
kidnapped
wanted
us.
to-
Just hijacked
Maurice
us.
stood him up.
Dennis appointment.
Man, what
He
happened
got
to
me
you,
out
man?
got me out of the dentist chair to come on down. Man.
Right? Yeah,
Half of my
man.
head froze
Oh,
up.
you
Boy,
full of
I'm telling you the
Novocaine,
truth.
huh?
I said, boy, you
You know
did a
these
good
pieces?
job. I had to make you work so hard. But you sold me when you got me on the phone.
Some of them are from Tutani.
I said, let me go see what this brother wants. And I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because I would have never seen this.
Yeah.
Jamali.
Would have never seen this.
So
thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, doctor. How he made that.
I would like to show to my son room, but he keeps shit all over the floor and all over every goddamn thing.
You be like, what you tell, told, you was talking to Alice. You said, she was like, I had that room in there. You said, everybody in here had a room with a shoe out somewhere.
You know, they
But yeah, man, this
Now,
is,
Prince Osceola was all caught up. They tried to put him in jail because he was over there trying to act as a lobbyist, trying to get the sanctions lifted on Mugabe. You know, so vegetarian restaurant here in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's your brother too. Get fat. They convicted him of that.
Yes,
He's
sir.
going to jail in November for 7 months. And now they're trying to get him to rat out another album. That was last Thursday sometime. And if he doesn't rat him out, he's gonna get 7 years.
This is the dude that did the piece in there with the
Senator Trump.
now who is that? Yeah.
For what?
and stuff. This
Because they
is,
were over, and, you know,
his name is
Zimbabwe, you know, trying, you know, Mugabe was standing on Friday. They don't want to mess with him because they're mad
I
at him.
can't tell
I
either.
can't see it.
And they, you know, trying to get money. So,
We went over there
See it,
with
go
the-
ahead.
Look like Mark or something.
Mark Richardson.
Zimbabwe, right?
And
This
the
piece-
woman
And I know him.
responsible for bringing us
I
over
know
there.
you know
passed-
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
guy that came in after her
All
wanted to
these
exploit
pictures here?
the people that went over there
These are
that time.
pictures
I
of
usually
kids.
travel with
They
them.
got killed.
This
in
time I
Central
didn't.
Wow,
Chicago.
wow.
Put
These
them in
are
jail.
grammar
Wow.
school kids, I mean,
Bringing
grade
drugs
school
into the
kids that
country
got
without
killed.
permission.
All all over that field.
Because we were
Yeah, I know Mark.
the clinic and
Yeah.
Cause he did some mean pieces with musicians on it too.
Yeah.
Oh man, cause I remember he had it at the gallery.
Come in 2 weeks.
Huh?
Who is this up here?
That's
I did that all
uh,
in Ghana.
But what I did was
Oh,
I
you
paid
did that,
for
did you?
custom
Uh-huh.
plates
Okay.
whenever I came to
Okay.
There was this woman on the plane when I
I have
first
some
met,
better lighting here.
taking the
Yeah,
pictures
back.
and said, you know what, I know how to get it in.
Who
Yeah.
did this? Who did
Told me
this?
exactly
This
what
was
to
a
do.
white dude out in
Yep.
They just want
Hyde Park when they had their
That's all I
park
wanted.
festival.
anything you can get done with, do a little bit of that.
And everybody was
And
You gotta play the game.
every last
I know.
one of
They
them.
said we gotta play this
Something
game
bad.
and learn how to be a good player.
You coming to bring them help, but they want you to pay them to bring them help. Them people.
Yo, you been to the wood
When
shop
we
on
did the radio and
75th?
TV,
I haven't been in a while, man. But I need to get around
ain't
more.
that something?
Yeah.
You have to do some of that here though. In America.
Well, this is where it started, so
I'm trying to
I'm
find.
surprised to hear that.
But he kept pictures of all his kids and himself when they were growing up. When he first got married, they all in there. Like, one.
You got history, man.
Historian. We're in the presence of a historian.
You know it like a
That's nice. Too.
Thursday. Got a right table on Ghana.
this was a basket I
I'll
had.
do that.
Yeah, I just tried to put it on the basket.
Okay. That's really creative.
Everything has been pushed back a day.
And it works.
I push every day back a day now. What I was gonna do today, I
Yeah,
gotta
oh,
do
that's
tomorrow.
right. You had your stuff to work on.
And what
Man.
I gotta do tomorrow,
You, oh, man.
I'll catch up. I'll catch up by Thursday evening.
Well, I gotta get on the plane.
Okay, well.
Yeah, you out of here. What time you leaving?
My flight's at 4 o'clock, but I gotta be at the airport at 1.
Now, which airport you leaving out of?
O'Hara.
O'Hare? Okay. So, you need a lift or something?
No, I got a car.
You got a car? You
Yes,
gonna
sir.
drive?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
drive.
rented the car.
Rented a car when I got
Okay.
here. So I'm gonna drive to the car return.
Man, that's so
And,
terrible.
So you knew Miss Hattie and them pretty well, didn't you?
Very well.
Very well. they had the best fries on 16th Street.
And hamburgers.
Yeah.
We love their hamburgers.
Man, I used to go there and give me a bag of them fries, man, for a dime. Man, she'd fill that bag up.
Oh,
I'd have
yeah,
some,
yeah.
some salt, some ketchup, and she'd fill that bag up, and I'd head across the prairie going to Mason.
We used to get play in the prairie.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mhm. We had our own prairie right in the middle of the city.
We created a path through the prairie.
Several paths.
Several paths. All depends on where you
And
live.
the grass would get this high.
Ooh. Tell me about it.
But the height of insanity was riding your bike down that slide. Down,
man.
that was the height of insanity.
Yeah, I never did even try that.
That was insane.
I don't know if I did or not, but that would have been insane.
landline or your cell phone.
I don't have a cell phone. People wish you to as much on the cell phone.
Pretty much.
Hey, how can I
Trouble
keep
on
up
that
with you to get, let me get your number. I'd like to get me one of them DVDs. Phil Koran. I'd like to get me one of them.
773.
Let me set it up
Is
here.
this yours?
Let me set it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime Phil speaks, I need to hear what he got to say.
Well, I sell his music. You know he the one that got Earth, Wind, and Fire started, right? Myrick and Satterfield came out of his band.
Right.
Artistic Heritage Ensemble, right here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Satterfield and Myrick took the music to Maurice White. The Earth, Wind, and Fire is a direct copycat of Phil Koran. The reason they had such a major influence out here is because they're playing modes and concepts that nobody else was playing that they got from him. Al McKay, the lead guitarist for Earth, Wind, and Fire. I got a buddy of mine that graduated from high school with me named Dean Gant that plays in Al McKay's band. He has a band called Al McKay's All Stars that's playing Earth, Wind, and Fire music all over Europe and all over abroad, right? And when somebody spoke to him about Phil in the band, Al McKay was like,